Today, we will go together on a journey into the hidden worlds of the human mind, where we will uncover the secrets of influence and control. Today, we dive into dark psychology. The Art of Manipulation by Jack Richard, a book that reveals powerful techniques to persuade, deceive, and control the minds of others. From emotional manipulation to the nuances of NLP, this book provides a comprehensive guide to the dark arts of psychology. But beware, this knowledge is as powerful as it is dangerous. Stay with us as we explore the complexities of persuasion, the subtleties of deception, and mastering emotional control. Whether you're here to protect yourself or understand these concepts for personal growth, this video will keep you on the edge of your seat. So, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, because you won't want to miss a moment of this deep dive into the art of manipulation. Let's get started. Introduction. To grasp the subtleties of manipulation, one must delve into the intricacies of the human psyche. The unconscious mind governs the majority of brain functions, from breathing and digestion to heart rate. It is the repository of creativity, imagination, and memories, and it orchestrates automatic responses to perceived threats. Emotions reside within this unconscious realm, making it fertile ground for manipulative tactics. Skilled manipulators exploit the unconscious mind, subtly influencing emotional reactions to achieve their ends. Manipulation hinges on psychological strategies. Manipulators employ these tactics to instill a false sense of security, fostering trust that paves the way for manipulation. The essence of manipulation lies not in coercing someone to act, but in making them desire to act as the manipulator wishes. This requires an astute understanding of the target's genuine desires, which can then be reshaped to align with the manipulator's objectives. Proximity to the target enhances the manipulator's efficacy, as trust must be cultivated over time with patience and precision. Emotional and psychological manipulation often intertwine, exploiting power imbalances. Manipulators identify and exploit weaknesses, perpetuating a cycle of manipulation. Once ensnared, the victim is unlikely to escape without external intervention. Despite the challenge of recognizing and countering manipulation, there are methods to fortify one's mind against such intrusions. Meditation, for instance, can anchor a person, enabling them to remain calm and perceptive in the face of manipulative behavior. Avoiding emotional entanglement with manipulators is crucial, though challenging, particularly when false kindness is employed to gain trust. Early detection of manipulative behavior allows for disengagement before attachment forms. A manipulator seeks dominance over others, and maintaining mental autonomy strips them of their power. One can deflect manipulation by trivializing insults and maintaining personal boundaries, thereby undermining the manipulator's influence. A robust sense of self-worth is a formidable defense against manipulation. Confidence in one's identity renders external attempts to diminish self-assurance futile. Escaping toxic relationships is another vital strategy. People are unlikely to change, and preserving one's well-being necessitates extricating oneself from harmful dynamics before the situation escalates. Recognizing manipulation involves identifying red flags, such as feelings of guilt induced by the manipulator's blame-shifting tactics. This dynamic is prevalent in abusive relationships, where the victim internalizes fault for the abuser's aggression. Manipulators also twist the victim's words to reinforce guilt. Understanding the emotional underpinnings of manipulation is essential, as emotions are pivotal in both executing and succumbing to manipulation. Manipulators exploit emotional bonds to extract information and identify vulnerabilities, often feigning emotions to destabilize the target's decisions. Awareness of seemingly innocuous behaviors that may signal manipulation is critical. Excessive inquiries about one's activities and possessive jealousy can indicate attempts at control. Manipulators create a facade of reliance, isolating their victims from others. Recognizing these tactics and training the mind to detect subtle manipulative cues can empower individuals to extricate themselves from such situations. Responses to manipulation vary based on its nature. In cases of aggressive manipulation, professional guidance from therapists or domestic violence hotlines is advisable. For non-threatening manipulation, disregarding the manipulator's words and establishing personal boundaries can mitigate their impact. Avoiding hasty decisions under manipulative pressure allows for rational deliberation, free from external influence. Enhancing social dominance can also shield against manipulation. Resilience, rather than aggression, fosters dominance. Success in one area of life can bolster confidence across the board. Emulating extroverted behaviors, even if inherently introverted, can increase social dominance. Observing and replicating the behavior of natural extroverts, practicing social engagement, and understanding one's unique attributes can all contribute to a more assertive persona. Ultimately, fortifying oneself against manipulation involves cultivating self-awareness, emotional resilience, and the ability to discern manipulative tactics. Whether through meditation, boundary setting, or social adaptation, individuals can safeguard their autonomy and integrity against manipulative influences. Chapter 1. Why do we need emotion? The most fundamental principle to grasp before delving into dark psychology is understanding emotions. Recognizing how emotions influence others, why they exist, and how to manipulate them is crucial for controlling people. Emotions are the driving force behind human behavior. By understanding how people feel, you can see how your actions affect their emotions. This awareness allows you to modify your behavior intentionally to elicit desired responses from others. The more control you have over another's emotions, the more you control their thoughts and actions, as emotions, thoughts, and behaviors are intertwined in a continuous cycle. What are emotions? Emotions, while diverse, share three fundamental characteristics. They are natural, reflexive, and instinctive. 1. Natural. Emotions arise naturally, developed through millennia of evolution. As life grew more complex, so did the emotional capacity needed for survival. 2. Reflexive. Emotions are reactions to external stimuli. Unprovoked, they remain relatively stable. For instance, experiencing pain can trigger sadness, anger, or fear, each aiding survival by seeking support, defending oneself, or fleeing, respectively. 3. Instinctive. Emotions occur automatically, without conscious thought. Humans possess two distinct thought processes: implicit, automatic, and explicit, controlled. Emotions fall under the implicit process, operating independently of rationality. Given their irrational nature, emotions are susceptible to various external influences, from daily experiences to diet. Why we have emotions? Despite their volatility, emotions serve vital biological functions, primarily for survival and communication. 1. Survival. Emotions act as motivators, driving behaviors crucial for survival and reproduction. Fear, for example, triggers caution, while happiness encourages repeating beneficial behaviors. Emotions guide actions to ensure basic needs are met. 2. Communication. Emotions are essential for nonverbal communication, reflecting unconscious thoughts, feelings, and needs through body language, actions, and expressions. Effective communication enhances survival by allowing individuals to express needs and understand others' needs, fostering cooperative behavior. Reading others' emotions also enables self-regulation. Anger, for instance, signals a boundary violation. Recognizing anger in others allows for behavioral adjustments to avoid further conflict. This mutual understanding supports social harmony, essential for a species that thrives in communities. In summary, emotions are integral to human survival and social interaction. Understanding and influencing emotions can enhance control over others, aligning their actions with desired outcomes. What emotions say? We experience dozens of different emotions. Joy might be different from exuberance, just as disappointment differs from agony. Although they may fall under similar categories, such as joy and exuberance under happiness, or agony and disappointment under sadness, they are distinct feelings. Instead of defining each emotion individually, we can explore broader categories. The 7 emotions presented here are considered fundamental, meaning all other emotions stem from these. Emotions are complex and exist on a spectrum, especially when we experience conflicting feelings. However, reducing the wide range of emotions to these 7 universal feelings helps simplify understanding. These 7 emotions are recognized worldwide, across all cultures, even among people who are blind from birth. Each evokes specific facial expressions that are universally understood. Anger. Anger arises when an individual feels wronged or perceives a boundary has been crossed. It triggers protective or defensive behavior and signifies a need for respect or space. Fear. Fear is felt in the presence of a threat. The individual perceives danger and the body prepares to fight or flee to ensure survival. Observing fear in others indicates a need for security and safety. Or contempt. Contempt emerges from deep disapproval or hatred towards a person or thing, often due to distrust or lack of respect. It signals a need for trust. Disgust. Disgust typically occurs in response to something harmful to one's health, such as spoiled food. It can also be directed at people who violate moral codes. Disgust indicates that something or someone is toxic and should be avoided. Happiness. Happiness signifies that everything is going well and needs are being met. It is a pleasant emotion that encourages the individual to continue the behavior that brought about this feeling. Sadness. Sadness is experienced during times of pain or loss, prompting withdrawal and signaling a need for support to heal. Surprise. Surprise occurs when something unexpected happens, requiring further attention to understand the new information that contradicts prior beliefs. Chapter 2. What is emotional manipulation? No one enjoys being taken for a ride. No one likes being played for a fool either. Unfortunately, many people have these unpleasant experiences in almost every facet of human interaction. Worst of all, it happens to a lot of us more than once. The intriguing thing is not that we were played for fools, rather, it is that we come out of the experience with a determination to never fall for such tricks ever again, only to find that we have been tricked again and again. Perhaps this book you are reading right now is the wake-up call you need to jar you out of your psychological slumber and do something practical about your decision not to have a repeat experience of emotional manipulation ever again. What is emotional manipulation? For the sake of clarity, let us have a working definition of what emotional manipulation is. Our emotional manipulation is the temporal takeover of your ability to think and act rationally. When someone acts or says things that distract or bypass your rational and conscious mind, and then hijacks your emotions to the point of influencing you to feel or behave in a certain way, they are, at that moment, manipulating your emotions. Such people, who have practiced the art of emotional manipulation or who have developed the bad habit of manipulating others, are capable of making you do what you would normally not do. Beyond making you behave in negative ways, shrewd influencers can completely ruin your career, destroy your love life, and cause havoc in your relationships. It doesn't matter how academically intelligent you are, if you do not take steps to protect yourself from emotional saboteurs by developing your emotional intelligence, you may learn the hard way why being street smart is as equally important as being book smart. Emotional manipulation is simply a mind game. Although some people have psychopathic and sociopathic tendencies, while others go through training to attain mastery in the art of mind games, everyone is born with the ability to manipulate others for positive and negative purposes. Children do not need formal training in neuro-linguistic programming before they can push their parents' guilt buttons, nor do they have to be coached before they use flattery to warm their way into the hearts of parents and adults right before they present their requests. Passive aggression doesn't have to be taught to any child before they use it to manipulate parents and adults into submission. These things are inborn and can be used for the benefit of all involved in any interaction, a win-win situation, or strictly for the selfish benefit of the manipulator. Usually, those who are manipulated emotionally have unknowingly surrendered a part of their self-esteem, self-worth, and self-image to the manipulator. This is why the longer a victim stays in a manipulative relationship, whether personal or professional, the more damage is done to their overall sense of self. Self-awareness is a very important quality to develop if you must accomplish your goal of not falling again for manipulators. The more aware you are of your emotions and your tendency to react to others, the greater your chances of gaining control of your thoughts, emotions, and behavioral responses. Look at it from this angle. Since emotional manipulation is all about mind games, the person with greater control of your emotions wins the game. So, if you gain control over your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, there is little to no chance that you will be played for a fool again and again. Let us now give our attention to finding out who a manipulator is, their goals, and the tools they use in the art of manipulation. Who is a manipulator? In the simplest terms, a manipulator is someone who uses people to influence the outcome of a situation, usually to their benefit. In other words, when someone gets you to think and act in ways that please them, they have manipulated you. The outcome that a manipulator seeks can include to use their victim to gain access to power or to seize power, to gain partial or total control in a relationship or at work, to take the credit for another person's hard work, to enjoy the benefits of their victim's hard work, to make another person take the fall for their faults. To achieve their devious goals, manipulators can use any of the following tools: deceit, deliberately withholding vital information, misleading with words, actions, or inactions, being dishonest, and being generally fraudulent. Guilt, making you feel responsible for an unfortunate outcome. Lies, deliberately twisting the truth or spreading outright falsehoods about their victims. False hope, making empty promises, using future events that may not ever occur as bait for their victims. An emotional manipulator has a deep-seated need to be in control. Underneath that desire to always be in control of people and situations is the feeling of insecurity. To mask that insecurity, an emotional manipulator will sometimes put on the appearance of someone domineering and powerful. A person who is in the habit of manipulating others has little to no regard for how his or her behavior affects their victims or others around them. Their desire to be in control and to feel superior is more important to them than anything else. This is why they carefully seek out vulnerable individuals who will dance to their tune and validate them. When you succumb to a manipulator or even react in an emotional outburst, you give them power over you. Why people are emotionally manipulated. From ill-famed world leaders to leaders in the workplace and other social settings, emotional manipulation has been used to rally followers around selfish causes or goals. Emotionally charged speeches, well-timed body gestures, sarcasm, intimidation, aggression, and false hope have been used to get people to stop thinking and just act blindly. The question is, why do people tend to fall for these types of mind control tactics easily? I am not implying that only people under another person's authority can be negatively influenced. In reality, your station in life doesn't matter much when it comes to emotional manipulation. You could be a follower, subject, sibling, child, subordinate, student, or any other person and still be able to influence your superior negatively. Isn't this why kids have their way with their parents? Have you not witnessed or heard of bosses who are incapable of asserting their official powers over a particular employee because that employee has them wrapped around his or her fingers? Why then do people of all classes and positions fall for manipulators? Two reasons stand out from all the other possible reasons: unhealthy self-esteem and fear. A person with a healthy self-esteem does not need flattery to recognize their self-worth, nor do they respond to covert and overt aggression. Since they recognize the inherent and inalienable worth of every person, it is difficult to get them distracted by a feeling of pity for anybody. Having healthy self-esteem ensures that you are not easily pushed into feeling guilty for someone else's actions or inactions. However, unhealthy self-esteem can make an individual seek validation of their self-worth from external sources. When a manipulator gets wind of this fact, they prey on that weakness by temporarily soothing their emotional need. As soon as the victim becomes comfortable and lets down their emotional guard, the manipulator nudges, and sometimes coerces, them into doing things they would not have normally done. Fear, on the other hand, drives people to succumb to a manipulator even long after they have discovered that the person is using them. Fear is the reason why a lot of people remain in a manipulative, controlling, and toxic relationship. They fear loss of basic needs. For those in a relationship where their daily sustenance depends 100% on a manipulative partner, they may continue to endure such emotional control tactics because of the fear of losing their only means of survival. Confrontation. Many people would rather avoid arguments and conflicts that are likely to arise from being firm and courageous. Confrontation gives them the jitters. Discomfort. This refers to doing everything possible to stay clear of the awkward feeling that being assertive can bring about. Some people prefer the seeming peace rather than the uneasiness that will result in their relationship if they were to take steps to protect themselves from being controlled emotionally, loss of friendship or partnership. Some people go to great lengths to keep their relationship even when it is causing them deep hurts and subjecting them to negative influences. They simply cannot picture themselves without the other person. They are loyal to a fault. This makes them open to all sorts of manipulation as the other person takes undue advantage of their loyalty, a loss of opportunity. This refers to remaining compliant and submissive to gain or keep an opportunity like free accommodation, gainful employment, and other benefits. It is important to note that emotional control may not always present as someone trying to dominate and oppress you, at least not at first. In many cases, it presents as being pleasant and nice, but later turns into manipulation and control. If you are in a relationship that has any of the above characteristics, then you are in an emotionally controlling relationship. It is doing a lot of damage to your self-esteem. Over a long time, you will feel worthless and completely dependent on the other person. There is a need to free yourself from such manipulation if you must regain your self-esteem. Chapter 3. Techniques to emotionally manipulate others. How would you feel or react when you realized that for the longest time you had been acting out of the script of someone else? That is, you have not been in control of your own actions and your life as a whole. If it sounds scary and probably annoying, that is what emotional manipulation is all about. While a lot of people talk about emotional manipulation, there are still many who don't know what it is all about. Emotional manipulation, sometimes called psychological manipulation or mind-effing, refers to behavior intended to change the attitude and behavior of others by using deceptive, devious, and sometimes abusive means. The manipulator psychologically or socially influences their victims to respond or behave in ways that suit the manipulator's purpose. This is classic manipulation because while you are acting out of that person's script, you will think that you are still yourself. Emotional manipulation usually doesn't involve using force but has a lot to do with playing with someone's emotions and mind to exploit them. It's very hard to credit this concept with advantages, if any, because of the covert nature of the work that goes into it and the end results. Emotional manipulation compares to when someone uses what belongs to you to feed their own desires, but in a covert manner and without your permission. While the manipulator acting in secrecy is definitely an issue, the biggest issue is when the manipulator makes you do things you wouldn't normally do or things you seriously object to. Usually, when a person is ignorant of the tactics or techniques that the manipulator is using on them, they may not be able to break loose from the spell. They will keep convincing themselves that they are in charge of their life when they are actually not. But knowing the techniques can easily make them identify when they are being used. And while emotional manipulation is generally considered a bad thing, there may be times when you will need it to get what you want from people who have not been very cooperative with you. Having knowledge of the tactics used would go a long way in helping you in such situations. Emotional manipulators identify their victims' psychological weak points and then work on them. This is only wise because if one makes the mistake of manipulating another where they are the strongest, the manipulator will fail before they even begin. Expert manipulators look at an aspect that makes their victim vulnerable and work through that. Here are some of the best practical tactics and techniques to emotionally manipulate others. Projection. Projection is a diversionary tactic that manipulators employ to shift their shortcomings or deficiencies to another person. Instead of accepting responsibility for their errors, they would rather make another person take the blame. It is a psychologically abusive tactic that aims at taking the burden of guilt off their shoulders and mounting it onto someone else's. The main motive here is to paint themselves clean, and the other person looks dirty and unfortunate. Intimidation. To intimidate is to frighten or overawe another person, especially to make them do what one wants. Emotional manipulators usually apply the technique of intimidation to silence people whom they consider a threat. In the case of a confrontation, they would look the other in the eyes with strange body language to induce fear, distract their victims from their train of thought, and make them end the debate. Magnifying their own problems while diminishing those of others. Emotional manipulators start by pretending to be sorry for what you are going through, often putting on a show of short-lived empathy. This is usually a ruse to hide their true intentions. Soon after, they would quickly bring up their own problems or challenges and magnify them so much that yours end up looking insignificant. Intellectual bullying. Overwhelming someone with intellectual facts is a unique tactic that people use to manipulate others. They may not always be accurate in what they are quoting, but they rely on the other person's lack of access or chance to verify the information. This way, they place themselves before the other as an authority to have their way. Name-calling. Emotional manipulators often have an exalted, usually false opinion of themselves. To them, others are never right while they are never wrong. Most emotional manipulators are said to be narcissists. When you challenge their ego by questioning their thoughts and opinions, be prepared to be called more names than those on your birth certificate. Conditioning. Conditioning is a psychological training method where the victim is trained by the manipulator. The idea is to make the victim abandon their initial values and instead embrace those of the manipulator. For example, if a victim values honesty, the manipulator might present anything good in life as dishonest. This way, the victim associates honesty with wrong values, failing to proceed further and possibly ending up disgraced. Gossiping and stalking. When manipulators find it hard to control their targeted victim, they spread false information behind the victim's back or monitor their movements. The aim is to give others a bad impression of the victim and to intimidate the victim. Bad surprises. Manipulative people use bad surprises as a tool to throw their victims off balance. They might keep a promise only to break it at the last moment, aiming to get a psychological advantage over the victim. At the last moment, when the victim has no other option, the manipulator would bring out their demands that the victim would have no option but to meet. Personality marketing. This tactic involves a person selling their alleged good qualities to another before they get to know them personally. Manipulative people identify the qualities their targeted victim wants to associate with and market those qualities. This tactic is common among politicians who present themselves as possessing the qualities voters want in a leader, only to show their true colors after being elected. Demeaning sarcasm. Manipulators use demeaning sarcasm to mention things their victim is struggling with in an underhanded way, creating feelings of insecurity. This tactic is used when manipulators feel their victim is getting too much recognition or attention. Demeaning sarcasm involves making jokes about the victim's struggles or failures, aiming to make others realize the victim isn't as perfect or worthy as they thought. Triangulation. Triangulation is common in romantic relationships and is a leading characteristic of emotional narcissists. The manipulator validates their wrongdoing towards their victim by referring to another party's similar actions. For example, an abuser might justify their behavior by pointing out that a friend of the victim didn't make a fuss when they were mistreated. This tactic aims to make the victim look like they are overreacting and to justify the manipulator's actions. Boundary testing. Boundary testing is when manipulators test their victims to see how far they can go in crossing the victim's line before they trespass on the victim's personal boundaries. They cross one line at a time until they get deeper into their victim's head. This is a very common tactic among abusers. First, they might talk condescendingly to the victim. If the victim shows excessive understanding, the manipulator might next slap them. If the victim accommodates that as well, it won't be long before the victim becomes a punching bag. The reason this tactic succeeds is the victim choosing to show empathy rather than standing up for themselves. Narcissists, who are the most chronic emotional manipulators, thrive on this tactic. Their main concern isn't empathy, but rather the consequences of their actions. Therefore, the more they succeed in decapitating their victim emotionally and nothing happens, the more they escalate their abusive behavior. Judging others. This is one of those emotional manipulation tactics that is done openly. Everyone else apart from the victim knows and sees it. The manipulator deliberately picks on their victim, especially when they know that the victim cannot do anything about it right away. The most egoistic and self-centered emotional manipulators display this characteristic very often. They continually bring out their victim's faults and brush aside their good efforts so that other people view them negatively. This tactic also helps fuel the manipulator's ego because the more they judge the victim, the more they portray themselves as superior. The victim can save themselves from this tactic by severing ties with the manipulator and avoiding any consideration of their judgments. Chapter 4. What is empathy? The concept of empathy was introduced by German aestheticians in the mid-19th century, who called it Einfühlung, meaning the emotional knowledge of artwork, primarily defining the emotions and feelings that accompany an artwork. By the end of the 19th century, psychologist Theodor Lipps expanded the meaning of the word, explaining it as the feeling you have over a different experience. He further stated that when we imitate the actions of others, we voluntarily show empathy. Philosopher Martin Buber added a profound concept, describing the empathetic relationship as I and thou versus me and it. According to Buber, the opposite of respect for humans is the objectification and dehumanization of other people. Empathy can be defined as the mental and emotional attachment to others' emotions, needs, and struggles. Understanding and trusting others can be achieved by setting a common goal, ensuring that people have great connections that help solve their problems and those of others. Empaths are people who connect deeply with others' emotions and feelings, resonating with them. They show compassion and consideration towards others and are highly attuned to the emotions and feelings of those around them. Many empaths do not fully understand how their ability works. They often think they are simply sensitive to others' emotions. Empaths have shared characteristics. They are very sensitive to deep emotions. While most people put up a facade to hide their true feelings, an empath can see through these false emotions and discern the real feelings of the person. Empaths have big hearts and often help those hiding their true feelings express what they really feel. They show empathy to a wide range of beings, from close family members to strangers, animals, plants, and even non-living organisms. Empaths are not limited by time and space, meaning they can feel the emotions of people and things even from a distance. Many empaths are poets in action, possessing a high degree of creativity and imagination. They are often writers, singers, and artists, indicating that a significant number of empaths are found in the artistic community. Empaths are known to be multi-talented with diverse interests, showing a keen interest in cultural diversity and open-mindedness towards people from different backgrounds and cultures. Empaths transcend all tribes, races, cultures, and geographical locations. They can be found in families, neighborhoods, workplaces, and the broader community. Empaths span all ages, genders, careers, and personalities, making it challenging to categorize them within a specific group. The best description for empaths is listeners of life. They are fond of solving problems, thinking, and studying broadly. They believe in finding answers to every problem and are committed to searching for solutions. Empaths have the ability to sense others on different levels. They observe people when they are speaking, understanding what they feel and think. They are skilled at studying body language and eye movements, although these abilities do not solely define an empath. These skills develop from a deep interest in studying humanity and understanding people's behavior. The ability to study someone through observation is part of the communication package for empathy. Empathy is a crucial tool for defining societal and personal functioning. It enables people to share experiences, needs, and desires among themselves, creating an emotional bridge that supports prosocial behavior. Empathy requires an intense interplay of neural connections, allowing individuals to perceive others' emotions, understand their feelings, and differentiate their emotions from those of others. Empaths are highly sensitive to media, which can affect them deeply. Violent or emotional dramas on TV, movies, news, and broadcasts involving children, adults, or animals can bring them to tears. They often hold back tears or even become physically ill upon seeing such scenes. Empaths are warm and welcoming, attracting people and animals from all walks of life. They show genuine compassion towards both living and non-living organisms, making them very attractive to others. People are often drawn to empaths, even total strangers, who find it easy to express their deepest feelings to them, despite not knowing them well. This trustworthiness, though not always understood, often leads to empaths providing a listening ear and finding solutions to others' problems or confusion. Empaths tend to be more cautious of outside feelings rather than their own, often neglecting their own emotions to focus on others. They value peace above all else and are committed to ensuring it in every situation. Chapter 5. Mind Control Through Empathy. When contemplating a mind control, what imagery surfaces in your mind? Likely, it evokes the notion of a mastermind orchestrating their followers like marionettes. In a circuitous manner, this holds a kernel of truth. Some individuals appear to wield an almost magical ability, compelling others to act according to their whims. In reality, no such mystical powers exist. If they did, those who could harness them would wield immense power. Thus, it prompts the inquiry, what exactly constitutes mind control? To elucidate this, we must delve into the mechanics of human free will. Generally, humans possess the autonomy to make choices. However, this faculty can be significantly influenced by surrounding circumstances. Reflect on this for a moment. If you found yourself imprisoned in a concentration camp during the Nazi regime, exercising your free will would be severely curtailed. Any expression of personal freedom would be swiftly quashed by the authorities. This suggests that while free will can be diminished, it cannot be entirely eradicated. Mind control, then, can be understood as the ability to manipulate circumstances to steer someone's decisions. This goes beyond mere influence or persuasion. It involves powerful techniques to play upon a person's instincts and reactions, compelling them to act in desired ways. These techniques are profoundly potent. This chapter explores how to employ such methods to align others with your plans and ideas without resorting to coercion or deceit. Smiling. The subtle power of a smile is often underestimated. Though commonly seen as a simple gesture to break the ice, a well-timed smile can significantly enhance rapport, increasing the likelihood of cooperation. There is a distinction between a genuine smile and a forced one. A disingenuous smile is easily detected and often makes the smiler appear uncomfortable. Think about routine encounters at a grocery store or bank where employees smile out of obligation rather than sincerity. Observe people in various settings. When someone genuinely smiles at you, they make natural eye contact and smile under appropriate circumstances, like a cashier handing you your receipt or a waiter greeting you at your table. Utilize the power of a smile in social interactions or negotiations, but ensure your smile is authentic. Train your mind to smile genuinely, fostering a mindset of genuine care for the person you are engaging with. This authenticity will resonate more effectively. Eye contact. Effective smiling and positive interactions are complemented by eye contact. This aspect, however, is nuanced. A deep, penetrating stare can make others defensive, triggering a flight or fight response and counteracting your intentions. Positive eye contact occurs naturally during appropriate moments. For instance, combining eye contact with a warm smile and firm handshake can foster a sense of safety, crucial in contexts like job interviews, where a relaxed interview is more receptive to your words. Conversely, showing submission or fear through your gaze may prompt others to exploit this perceived weakness. Recognizing signs of discomfort in others can also signal an opportunity to assert your objectives. Ultimately, eye contact is a formidable tool when genuine and sincere, without unsettling the other party. If they hesitate to meet your gaze, you may have an advantage to leverage. Persistence. Persistence is a delicate art. It entails not accepting no as a final answer but continuing to pursue your goals. Timing, however, is crucial. For example, asking your boss for a day off during a stressful moment reduces your chances of a positive response. Instead, choose a time when they are more relaxed. If initially met with rejection, withdraw gracefully and try again later. By studying people closely, you will develop an intuition for the right moments when they are more amenable. For instance, requesting a day off on a Friday afternoon is likelier to yield a favorable response than on a Monday morning. Justifications. There is a marked difference between a valid reason and a mere excuse. Providing a solid reason makes it easier to gain agreement, whereas excuses are often ineffective. Consider this scenario. If your boss queries why a task wasn't completed on time, an excuse like "I didn't get the necessary information soon enough" is unlikely to suffice. Instead, offer a reason such as, "The data processing was intricate and took longer to ensure accuracy," and then detail the complexities involved, showcasing your expertise. Effective justifications must be coherent and logical. Scrutinize your reasons rigorously to ensure they withstand questioning, bolstering your confidence in their effectiveness. Narrow ties. Cultivating close relationships is crucial for garnering support. Meaningful connections foster compliance because people believe in you. Conversely, lack of genuine relationships diminishes willingness to cooperate. Building trust capital is essential. Being forthright and reliable builds credibility, making others more inclined to support your ideas. Bonding over shared experiences or common interests can fortify these ties, making it easier to secure agreement through trust and belief in you. Active listening. Listening is a powerful yet often overlooked strategy for influencing others. Genuine listening conveys care and fosters narrow ties, essential for building trust capital. Demonstrating attentive listening is straightforward. Maintain eye contact and mirror some of their mannerisms, such as crossing arms or placing a hand under the chin. This mirroring technique signals empathy and attentiveness, strengthening the bond and enhancing your influence. Be forthcoming. Ultimately, the most effective way to cultivate credibility is through honesty and transparency. Trust capital is an invaluable asset, one that necessitates diligent accumulation. While you may be driven by self-interest, it's unnecessary for others to be aware of this. A key strategy for building this trust capital is to embrace truthfulness. Simply put, if there's no imperative to lie, then refrain from doing so. Habitual dishonesty will eventually be detected, leading others to perceive you as untrustworthy, a perception that undermines your objectives. Conversely, demonstrating a pattern of honesty fosters reliability and makes people inclined to rely on you in diverse situations. By cultivating a persona rooted in integrity, you make it difficult for others to question your decisions and actions. Your established track record will speak volumes on your behalf. When confronted with opposition, you can simply point to your history of accomplishments. It's important to recognize that establishing this level of credibility requires both time and consistent effort. Make a conscious effort to integrate honesty as a core component of your everyday behavior. The benefits of fostering a credible persona are substantial. You will gain far more from others through transparency than through deceit. Chapter 6. How to use manipulation for empathic relationships, friendship, and at work. The art of inspiration. Many people seek to learn manipulation and dark psychology techniques to influence and inspire others. They often approach trainers to learn how to induce a trance and formulate indirect suggestions. While they might succeed in practice sessions, they often falter when faced with real-life situations, failing to capitalize on the moment. This happens for two main reasons. Firstly, they are unsure of what they want. They lack clarity about their desires, especially in relation to the person they are interacting with. The solution is simple: write down your desires. When you have a clear list, you can easily identify opportunities to fulfill at least one of them. Before meeting someone, consider what you want to achieve and visualize the desired outcome. Usually, it makes sense to instill either the right behavior or the right attitude. Secondly, there is a fear that the suggestion might backfire, causing the other person to snap out of the trance and react negatively. These fears are valid, especially for beginners who might unintentionally provoke their victims' internal defenses. Safe suggestions, which we will explore further, can mitigate this risk. Courtesy rules. Treat suggestions as polite requests. It's much more pleasant to hear "Can you tell me the time?" instead of "Look at the clock and tell me what time it is." Requests are perceived as polite and are therefore more likely to be fulfilled. People generally find it impolite to refuse a polite request. However, not all requests are welcome. A person will readily fulfill a request if they understand what needs to be done, know how to do it, find it easy and stress-free, and see some benefit in doing so. If any of these conditions are not met, they are less likely to comply. A reminder. Our goal is to communicate in a way that dulls the vigilance of the interlocutor. The sentinel system of any living being responds to sudden, unmotivated changes in the situation. To avoid raising alarm, speak in a manner consistent with the other person's beliefs and perceptions. It's important to ensure that your words align with their reality, as people will not act against their core beliefs. Therefore, offer suggestions that are logical and consistent with their views. Inspired mood. Most decisions are influenced by emotions, whether consciously or not. Emotions often dominate our choices, and people will find ways to change decisions they are unhappy with, justifying the change logically. Although we live in a world that values logic, emotional influence can yield fantastic results. Compliments. Compliments are a powerful tool for suggestion. People are generally willing to accept positive assessments, especially when there is a reason for them. Compliments are polite and socially acceptable. They also imply a subtle expectation for the person to live up to the positive assessment. By offering compliments, you teach the person to accept your suggestions, as compliments create a positive association with the evaluator. Only PR, praising yourself, your products, or your services is a form of suggestion. Repeatedly highlighting your achievements and positive attributes shapes how others perceive you. However, it's important to ensure that self-praise is relevant and contextually appropriate. If you find self-promotion difficult, you can praise yourself indirectly through stories and anecdotes that highlight your positive qualities. Total correct suggestions. The best suggestions are those that you would not be embarrassed to be caught making. They should be easy to accept and lead to relaxed, subjectively beneficial actions. This is achieved by saying things that align with the other person's reality and whose behavioral consequences are not immediately obvious. Focus on mood, attitudes, qualities, or simple agreeable requests to make your suggestions more effective. Chapter 7. Coercive control. Coercive control is often associated with domestic abuse, and in some cases, this connection is accurate. However, many people who use coercive control in a loving relationship are simply looking to gain some control. Emotional manipulation can be a way to ensure your partner is aware of your needs and can meet them. While the term controlling partner might evoke images of a bully or an abusive person who rules the relationship with violence, dark psychology suggests a gentler form of persuasion to improve your relationship. Let's explore some behaviors that psychologists consider controlling traits and reinterpret them using dark psychology. 1. Isolation tactics. Psychologists argue that keeping your partner away from their family and friends to strip them of their support network is unhealthy. They recommend making time for yourself. Alternative view. If you love spending time with your partner, encouraging them to choose you over others is just persuasion. Balancing work and home life can be challenging, and gently persuading your partner to prioritize time with you is a way to nurture your relationship. 2. Chronic criticism. According to psychologists, constantly correcting your partner's behavior or other aspects of the relationship is abusive and indicates a lack of respect. Alternative view. Constructive criticism can help both partners improve and grow. Accepting and giving well-meaning comments about how to become a better partner can strengthen the relationship. Criticism, when reciprocal and constructive, can be a tool for mutual growth. 3. Making threats to prevent a breakup. Psychologists view discussing the consequences of a breakup, such as financial impacts or effects on children, as threatening behavior. Alternative view. Highlighting the realities of a breakup, especially in a committed relationship with shared responsibilities, is about being realistic. It's a way to encourage working through difficulties rather than making hasty decisions. 4. Using a scorecard. Psychologists suggest that pointing out imbalances in effort within the relationship is a form of mental abuse. Alternative view. A balanced relationship is essential. Encouraging your partner to take a more active role in shared responsibilities is about creating fairness and mutual support, not control. 5. Creating a debt. Psychologists warn that giving extravagant gifts early in a relationship can create a sense of debt that prevents a breakup. Alternative view. Giving gifts to show affection and share your lifestyle is generous, not manipulative. The sense of debt is often in the recipient's mind and not the giver's intention. 6. Spying on your partner. Excessive disclosure and monitoring are viewed by psychologists as unhealthy and controlling. Alternative view. Trust and transparency are crucial in a relationship. Sharing personal information and occasional checks can be about ensuring mutual trust and safety, not control. 7. Jealousy and accusations. Psychologists believe that jealousy and expressing it to your partner is a way of exerting control. Alternative view. Sharing your feelings of jealousy acknowledges your partner's attractiveness and can be flattering. It's a way to express care and request respect for your feelings. 8. Earning treats. Psychologists argue that setting goals with rewards is a form of control and dominance. Alternative view. Providing incentives for achieving goals is a way to motivate and support your partner. It's about working as a team to achieve mutual progress and happiness. 9. Making you tired of arguing. Avoiding arguments to prevent conflict is seen by psychologists as controlling behavior. Alternative view. Finding non-confrontational ways to resolve issues is about maintaining peace and happiness in the relationship. It's not about control, but about finding healthier ways to deal with conflicts. 10. Telling you what to eat. Psychologists see advising your partner on their diet as a form of control. Alternative view: advising your partner on healthy eating habits shows care and a desire for their well-being. It's about wanting to enjoy a long, healthy life together. Point 11. Banning you from seeing certain people, restricting your partner's social interactions is considered controlling. Alternative view: advising your partner to avoid negative influences is about caring for their well-being. You can make better decisions about their friends from an outside perspective and persuade them to make better choices. Coercive control, when reinterpreted through the lens of dark psychology, can be seen as a form of gentle persuasion aimed at improving the relationship. By understanding and using these techniques thoughtfully, you can enhance your relationship, ensuring that your needs and those of your partner are met in a balanced and mutually beneficial way. Chapter 8. Methods of manipulation. Manipulation techniques are designed to blur the mind and bend the will to the manipulator's desires. These techniques range from subtle to coarse. Understanding these methods allows you to evade traps without succumbing to paranoia. Let's examine some of the most common manipulation traps through a clinical lens. We often want to believe in a world full of reliable and loving people. While many people live by this ideal, there are always those who will exploit you if given the chance. Recognizing selfish behavior and the depths of betrayal, manipulation, and deception requires a careful approach, not paranoia. For selfish purposes, it's essential to be cautious in relationships with those who might play with your emotions and trust manipulation by lies. Lies are a common tool for manipulators. They create a dense web of falsehoods, distorting reality to victimize you. The best defense is to identify inconsistencies and recognize bluffs. Trust must be earned. Avoid sharing personal and financial information until you know someone well. Be wary of offers that seem too good to be true. Verify the sources of information and the validity of statements before acting. This approach protects you from being ensnared in a web of lies, taking advantage of your emotional investments. Manipulators often exploit emotional investments, forcing people to act against their best interests. Psychopaths tend to use this method. Prevent such situations by not verbally expressing your emotional investments to strangers. Don't expose your weaknesses unnecessarily, as there may be those who seek to exploit them. Share your heart only with a few trusted individuals. Ego whipping through provocation and humiliation. In politics, sports, and various human activities, provocation and humiliation are powerful manipulation methods. Provoking someone to act foolishly through public humiliation can manipulate a wounded ego. If provoked, pause and consider the consequences of your actions. Avoid reacting impulsively, as provocation is always aimed at achieving a specific purpose. Deliberate before responding to avoid falling into a trap. Falsification. Instant temptations and ambitions can ruin lives. Desiring something intensely can become a weakness. Manipulative traps often exploit these desires. Avoid seeking short-term gains and focus on long-term plans to evade temptations. Recognize that those who constantly feed your desires can control your life. Addictions to drugs, alcohol, money, or sex can lead to ruin. Preventing dependence on material things and obsessive desires protects you from being dominated by manipulators. Pure brainwashing. Brainwashing is a manipulation tactic used by marketing, advertising, and extreme conservative groups. Repetition can overpower reasoning. Protect yourself by filtering information through a logic filter. Don't accept things at face value, research and verify before believing. Independent thinking is your best defense against brainwashing. Subtle emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is common in relationships and often goes unnoticed. Manipulators use your emotions for their own interests. Know where to draw the line, as self-sacrifice loses its meaning beyond a certain point. Recognize when enough is enough to protect yourself from emotional manipulation. Deprivation. Deprivation is an emotional manipulation that drives people to unwanted actions. It peaks in family and social life, making you obey others. Overcoming deprivation requires independence and creating your own source of income. This autonomy frees you from manipulation. Ego caress, arrogance. Ego manipulation involves caressing your ego with lies, inflating it until the manipulator can control you like a puppet. Arrogance can be disastrous. To escape this, practice humility and fairness. Pay attention to these emotional techniques, as manipulation can also be used positively. People can be guided to make good choices, but it's a risky game. Building your independent opinions and judgments helps protect you from becoming a victim of mental manipulation. Manipulation techniques can be subtle or blatant, but understanding them helps you protect yourself. Don't let others think for you, think for yourself. Keep a distance from anger, desires, ambitions, and lies. Listen to everyone, talk to some, and trust only a few. Prudence, patience, independent thinking, and good judgment are your best defenses against manipulation. Chapter 9. The Pillars of Manipulation. Manipulation often involves strategic methods to influence others subtly or overtly. Understanding these pillars helps in both employing them for ethical purposes and recognizing when they are used against you. 1. They use storytelling. Storytelling is a powerful manipulation tool because it engages the emotional part of the brain, making it more receptive than a barrage of facts and statistics. Stories can make one think with their emotions rather than logic, enhancing the persuasiveness of the argument. However, be cautious of falling for bad arguments masked by compelling stories that increase suggestibility and reduce focus on facts. Point 2. They know their audience. Successful manipulators, like great attorneys, do extensive background research on their audience. This knowledge allows them to tailor their communication style to resonate effectively. In any situation requiring persuasion, understanding the audience's preferences and biases helps in crafting messages that minimize miscommunication and maximize impact. 3. They show and not tell where possible. Visual evidence and storytelling captivate the mind more than pure data. Effective manipulators present tangible evidence repeatedly to reinforce the perceived truthfulness of their case. Be wary of those who excessively emphasize a piece of evidence, as it might be a misdirection tactic. Always question and verify the evidence shown. Point 4. They are reasonable. Sometimes, showing flexibility and agreeing on minor points can lower an opponent's defenses, making them more receptive to your main argument. This technique involves a strategic recalibration to appear reasonable, thus confusing the opponent into believing they are being understood, while subtly leading them into a trap. Point 5. They appeal to emotion. Emotions play a crucial role in manipulation. By provoking emotions such as anger, pity, or trust, manipulators can disrupt rational thinking. Maintaining emotional control while exploiting your opponent's emotional vulnerabilities can be decisive in manipulation. Emotions often outweigh facts in persuasive battles. Point 6. They watch the audience's body language. Body language is a significant communication tool. Skilled manipulators adjust their body language to suit the situation, using mirroring techniques to build rapport or intimidate. Observing and interpreting body language can provide insights into the audience's feelings and reactions, aiding in strategic adjustments to enhance persuasion. 7. They use leading questions. Leading questions guide the respondent towards a specific answer, shaping their perspective. These questions assume agreement and only seek to confirm the degree of that agreement. Being aware of such questions helps in avoiding traps that lead to unintentional acceptance of premises that do not align with your views. Point 8. Listening skills. Effective manipulators are excellent listeners, picking up subtle cues and details that reveal the target's vulnerabilities. By listening attentively, they gather information that helps in tailoring their approach to close the deal or win the argument. Over-answering and providing unnecessary information can inadvertently aid manipulators. 9. Empathy. Building rapport through empathy makes targets feel understood and valued, increasing their susceptibility to persuasion. Likeable salespeople often use empathy to comfort and reassure clients, facilitating sales. Recognize empathy tactics to discern genuine concern from manipulative strategies. Point 10. Assuming the sale. Salespeople often assume the sale by directly asking for details and signatures, bypassing the decision-making process. This technique removes the choice from the buyer and subtly pressures them into compliance. Recognize this tactic to avoid being rushed into decisions. Point 11. Confidence. A confident demeanor can inspire trust and lead people to follow the manipulator's lead. Confidence, even without substantial backing, can sway opinions and decisions. Awareness of this can help in distinguishing between genuine expertise and mere confidence. Point 12. Creating a scarcity mindset. Manipulators create a sense of urgency by suggesting that an offer is limited in time or availability, increasing its perceived value. Recognizing this pressure tactic allows for more measured decision-making, preventing hasty choices driven by fear of missing out. Point 13. Honesty, where possible. Manipulators blend truth with omission or slight distortions to craft convincing narratives while maintaining plausible deniability. This strategic use of truth helps in manipulating perceptions without outright lying. Always seek comprehensive information to uncover potential manipulative omissions. Point 14. Curiosity. Simple, seemingly innocuous questions can be a manipulator's tool to gather information and lay groundwork for persuasion. Each response provides insights into the target's preferences and vulnerabilities. Being cautious with the information shared can mitigate this tactic. Point 15. Communication skills. Skilled manipulators adapt their language and communication style to their audience, engaging effectively and persuasively. Subtle linguistic adjustments can make significant differences in how messages are received and interpreted. 16. Preparation for objections. Preparation is key in manipulation. Anticipating and preparing for objections reinforces the manipulator's position as an expert. By having ready answers to potential questions, they maintain control of the narrative and enhance their credibility. Understanding these pillars of manipulation equips you with the knowledge to both apply ethical persuasion techniques and recognize manipulative tactics used against you. Chapter 10. Methods of persuasion. For some people, the art of persuasion comes naturally. They seem to effortlessly get the response they want from others. On the other hand, some people struggle to convince even their closest friends, despite having compelling messages. Regardless of where you fall on this spectrum, with practice and effort, you can learn to use persuasion effectively. The 3 parts of persuasion. The process of persuasion typically involves 3 key components. 1. The communicator, the medium or source of persuasion. 2. The persuasive appeal, the nature of the message. 3. The audience, the target person or group for the appeal. Understanding and accounting for these elements is crucial for successful persuasion. By observing daily instances of persuasion, you can train yourself to recognize and employ similar tactics. Using the Aristotelian appeals. Aristotle, one of the most famous persuaders, identified 3 main approaches to persuasion. Ethos. Ethos focuses on trust, integrity, and character. This appeal is based on the persuader's reputation and how others perceive them. Demonstrating good character and even minor flaws can humanize you, making you more relatable and trustworthy. Pathos. Pathos involves evoking emotions in your audience. Engaging storytelling and referencing injustices can capture interest. Using the right language and choosing words that amplify or subdue situations is key to effectively employing pathos. Logos. Logos relies on logic, rational explanations, and evidence. This appeal is effective for people who prefer facts and data over emotional arguments. Providing verifiable information helps in convincing this audience. Additional persuasion techniques. Foot in the door. This technique involves asking for a small favor before requesting a larger one. Starting with something minor, like borrowing a cup of sugar, makes it easier to build up to bigger requests. Reversal tagging. Reversal tagging uses sentence phrasing with two opposing structures, an affirmative statement followed by a tag question. The first statement must be strong to serve as the main persuasive element. Reverse psychology. Reverse psychology suggests the opposite of what you want to evoke an emotional response and influence action. It works best when the target does not suspect manipulation. Cognitive dissonance. Creating a sense of discomfort or dissonance in your target can persuade them to take action to restore balance. Offering a solution to their discomfort increases the likelihood of compliance. Counterattitudinal advocacy. This technique involves advocating for a position contrary to your own beliefs to reduce dissonance and justify behavior. It is commonly used in cults and gangs to change beliefs and align actions. Hurt and rescue principle. This principle involves inducing discomfort or fear in the target, then presenting your desired action as the solution. Care must be taken to avoid appearing aggressive or intimidating. Auction model. Effective when dealing with multiple buyers, this strategy plays parties against each other to create a competitive buying frenzy. Human nature's competitive instinct drives up the perceived value. Various persuasion techniques can be employed depending on your goals, the nature of the request, your comfort level, and the difficulty of persuading the other person. Experiment with different methods to find what works best for you. Chapter 11. Secrets of Persuasive People. Whether you are trying to convince your boss or a friend on a certain issue, persuasion is a crucial skill in all areas of life. Persuasive individuals stand out because they have a knack for getting what they want. They are convincing, making you lean towards their way of thinking even when you initially doubted them. Let's explore the various characteristics that make persuasive people so effective. 1. They understand their audience. Persuasive individuals have a deep understanding of their audience, which allows them to communicate effectively. Knowing your audience is the first step to engaging them properly. Research. They conduct thorough research to understand the demographics and interests of their audience, forming conclusive insights. Observation. They observe other interactions with the audience, learning from competitors or previous engagements. Personal interaction. They strive to know their audience personally, even if it takes time. Engagement monitoring. They track engagement and comments, particularly on social media, to understand preferences. Surveys. When time permits, they conduct surveys to gather opinions on various topics. 2. They know how to connect. Connection is key to persuasion. Persuasive people connect with others by recognizing their humanity and engaging on a personal level. Emotional vulnerability. They are open emotionally, which builds trust. Active listening. They listen actively, showing genuine interest and respect for others' views. Building trust. By being empathetic and understanding, they create strong personal connections. 3. They don't force. Effective persuasion does not involve force. Persuasive people avoid pushing their audience in unwanted directions. Confidence and assertiveness. They present their ideas confidently but not aggressively. Patience. They are patient, allowing the audience time to accept their ideas. Non-argumentative. They avoid arguing intensely, focusing on the strength of their points. 4. they use appropriate body language. Body language enhances verbal communication. Persuasive individuals use expressions, gestures, and tone of voice effectively. Positive tone, they maintain a positive tone throughout their communication. Eye contact, they make eye contact to build rapport. Open posture, they use open body language, such as uncrossed arms and leaning forward. 5. They are clear and straight to the point. Clarity is essential in persuasion. Persuasive people convey their ideas succinctly and clearly. Content mastery, they know their subject matter thoroughly, avoiding repetition. Simplified communication, they explain concepts clearly, even to those unfamiliar with the topic. Audience understanding, they tailor their communication style to match their audience's level of understanding. 6. They are genuine. Genuineness is crucial for building trust. Persuasive people are honest and authentic, making them trustworthy. Self-awareness, they understand their strengths and use them effectively. Confidence, they exude confidence, showing they know what they are talking about. Trustworthiness, their genuineness makes others comfortable sharing information with them. 7. They aren't perfect. Admitting imperfection can be persuasive. Persuasive people listen to others and acknowledge their points of view. Open-mindedness, they are open to corrections and alternative perspectives. Respect for others, they respect others' opinions, which fosters mutual respect and consideration. 8. They stay relevant. Relevance is key to maintaining interest. Persuasive individuals avoid irrelevant questions and comments. Active listening, they listen to the audience and respond with relevant questions and comments. Focused communication, they keep their communication focused on the topic at hand. 9. They help the audience to visualize. Visualization aids understanding. Persuasive people use visual imagery, stories, and examples to make their points clear. Storytelling, they use stories to illustrate complex ideas. Imagery, they create vivid images in the minds of their audience to make their points memorable. 10. They make the right first impression. First impressions are critical. Persuasive people make a strong initial impression that influences how they are perceived throughout the interaction. Positive presentation, they adopt a strong posture, smile, and use a firm handshake. Effective opening, they use compelling opening statements to capture interest. 11. They know when to stop. Knowing when to pause is crucial. Persuasive people understand the importance of timing and observation. Strategic pauses, they pause to evaluate the effectiveness of their communication. Audience feedback, they listen to audience feedback and adjust their approach as needed. 12. They have goals. Having clear goals guides persuasive communication. Persuasive people start with a goal in mind and steer their audience toward it. Directional communication, they direct the conversation towards their desired outcome. 13. They prepare for objections. Anticipating objections is essential. Persuasive individuals prepare responses to potential objections. Preparedness, they think through possible objections and have responses ready. Flexible responses, they adapt their responses based on the specific objections raised. By understanding and embodying these characteristics, you can enhance your ability to persuade others effectively. Practice these traits and techniques to become more persuasive in your interactions. Chapter 12. Dark Persuasion. Persuasion happens everywhere in day-to-day life. It can be seen in how we interact with others, leaning in to persuade people to keep talking while ignoring them in hopes that they will be persuaded to go away. We persuade others to help by asking them and pleading our case, or we persuade people to do something by suggesting it. What makes persuasion dark versus regular persuasion, and how does dark persuasion work? If you want to understand why dark persuasion is so manipulative, you must first understand what it entails, as well as how it differs from harmless persuasion. Defining dark persuasion. At its simplest, persuasion is the act of coaxing or influencing someone into doing or believing something that they did not do or believe prior. Think of asking someone to do something that would never have occurred to them before. Perhaps you ask your partner to help you carry something because it is too heavy, and your partner has not yet offered help. If your partner then decides to carry something for you, you have successfully persuaded them. There is nothing inherently manipulative or wrong about doing this. You are simply asking for help and your partner obliges. Dark persuasion, then, adds a level of darkness. Remember, darkness implies selfishness or harm. The propensity for darkness is the propensity to do things for one's own selfish interest with no regard for what it may or may not do to those around the manipulator. They do not care if people get hurt, betrayed, or upset. The only thing that matters to people who have a propensity for darkness or dark psychology is that one's own wants and needs are met. Taking those two definitions, of darkness and persuasion, you can then infer that dark persuasion is the art of influencing people to act in a way that is primarily or only beneficial to the manipulator with no regard for those being manipulated. Anything that the manipulator attempts to get from others is selfishly motivated. This selfishness, this darkness, is what makes dark persuasion so dangerous or harmful to others. Persuasion versus dark persuasion. If persuasion is acceptable, but dark persuasion is harmful, what is the real difference, you may ask? The difference lies in the intention. Persuasion, by and large, does not seek to inflict harm, and if anything, often seeks to better both the person doing the persuading and the person being persuaded. Oftentimes, when trying to persuade someone, you are doing so because you believe it would be better, and this is from a good spot, seeking to benefit the other person as well. You are not trying to convince the other person to do something for your own benefit, and only your own benefit. Ultimately, the one-sided selfishness is what differentiates the two from each other. Persuasion is not necessary, but can be selfish, but dark persuasion always is. Dark persuasion is almost always one-sided, though the other person may believe there is some sort of benefit to him or her as well. In contrast, persuasion often seeks to balance the benefits of all involved, attempting to spread as much good as possible. All parties involved in normal persuasion usually benefit in some way, shape, or form, but only the manipulator benefits in dark persuasion. Dark persuasion does not concern itself with morality, whereas persuasion does. The dark persuader does not care about right or wrong, but the persuader does. How dark persuasion works. Persuasion, and therefore dark persuasion, works through 7 elements. These elements enable you to influence other people, no matter whether you seek to persuade someone with the best of intentions genuinely or you wish to darkly persuade someone into the behavior you know they would not necessarily care for. Understanding these 7 elements is crucial to understanding exactly how to persuade others. 1. Reciprocity. Reciprocity is the idea that when someone helps or gives you something, you should return the favor. Even if it is as simple as someone smiling at you, you should smile back. No matter how big or small, the favor should be returned. This typically works in everyone's favor when everyone reciprocates because everyone sees benefits. If Alice asks Brenda for help moving furniture in exchange for homemade cookies, and Brenda agrees to do so, the future time that Brenda needs help with something, Alice is going to be more likely to volunteer or agree to help. We inherently want to help others who help us. It is part of our wiring as a social species. However, this idea of reciprocity also applies in dark persuasion. If you seek to tap into dark persuasion, you are going to seek to create a sense of obligation in your target. You will do something for the other person with the intent of cashing in on the favor you feel you are owed. Many people are likely to give in to this notion, as well, and will oftentimes, even if begrudgingly, attempt to reciprocate. 2. Consistency and commitment. Consistency is important within persuasion because of 3 key factors. It is valued, creates a schedule that can be used to manage all of one's many responsibilities, and it can simplify situations that are otherwise difficult to juggle due to having a routine. This means that consistency, in effect, makes people's daily tasks more streamlined. People are able to get through everything easier when they have a set routine that enables them to meet all of their responsibilities that have proven effective in the past. The consistency in routine allows for reliability as well. Someone who is consistent is typically also quite reliable because of his or her routine. Therefore, someone who is consistent becomes easy to persuade. Once that person has agreed to do something for you, you can be certain they will follow through due to their own skills at self-motivating to remain consistent. In dark persuasion, you can take this to mean that once someone who is consistent has said they will do something, they will motivate themselves to do so, even if, halfway through, they realize that it is something that they have no desire to do or is something that does not quite line up with their own belief systems. Going hand in hand with consistency comes commitment. Those who are consistent typically follow through with commitments no matter what. They self-motivate to get the job done due to their consistency. Those who have proven themselves consistent typically will continue to follow that pattern, believing remaining consistent and reliable is integral to who they are as a person. This self-motivation is, in essence, a form of self-persuasion. By simply getting a commitment, you may not even have to do the persuasion part. The other person will do the work for you. This means that once you bind this person to do something, it will almost absolutely happen. Commitments are valued and not taken lightly. Even if you do find that the other person is balking at the agreement and seeming as though he or she may back out of the arrangement, appealing to that commitment, reminding the other person that they had promised or otherwise committed him or herself to completing the commitment is often enough to keep them in line. Within dark persuasion, then, by earning a commitment, particularly from someone consistent, you are able to ensure that you do not have to work hard to hold the other person accountable. Ultimately, those interested in dark persuasion and covert manipulation seek to get results with the least amount of effort, so by getting someone that you know is consistent and dedicated to meeting commitments, you are able to lessen your workload. You know that you are not likely to need to nag at the other person to follow through, which means you do not have to do as much follow-up work. 3. Authority by and large. People defer to authority and are more likely to do whatever someone asks if they see clear signs of authority presented to them. For example, a person may listen to what a nurse has to say about care at home but may not follow through. If that same person were told the same thing by a doctor whose lab coat declared them the head of the ER department, however, they would be far more likely to do as told. This is because the person unconsciously defers to higher authorities. In the person's mind, the nurse may not be as worthy of being an authority as the doctor who is the head of the emergency room, even though the information provided is exactly the same. In terms of being able to persuade others, then this implies that it is important to cue that the predator is an authority in some way. You can convince people to buy products if you have a business degree hanging on the wall, and you can sway someone by using your credentials with your name on nameplates, business cards, and other identifying items. Consider if someone talked to you about what you should do with your insurance on your car. Would you be more inclined to listen to a random person in casual clothes or someone wearing a shirt emblazoned with the logo of a popular, well-known insurance company? The answer is the one who has identified themselves as a representative of an insurance company. You would assume they are an authority on the product if their shirt marks them as someone involved with the insurance business. The dark persuaders, then, could take this a step further. Either through misrepresenting experience or even lying about credentials, they are able to be seen as more reliable. They may give some reason they have more working knowledge over a situation, and because of that, they should be seen as a default authority on the matter. For scarcity, people always want what they cannot have. Because oftentimes, people see the proverbial grass is greener on the other side. By imposing scarcity on a product, demand goes up. If an unpopular item is being removed from a menu, people will suddenly want it more until it is gone, at which point, that item that never sold well in the first place is suddenly missed. Many restaurants follow similar structures, offering items for a limited time only, although realistically, they would be able to produce enough to. Chapter 13. Methods of Deception. Deception involves the use of lies and omissions to persuade a victim to align with the deceiver's intentions. This type of interaction or communication can manifest in different forms depending on the context. Psychologists have identified three main classifications of deception: camouflage, simulation, and disguise. Understanding these classifications helps us recognize the common techniques used by deceivers. Let's explore these classifications and their associated tactics in detail. Camouflage. Camouflage involves concealing the true intentions of the deceiver in a way that the victim cannot easily decode. Similar to how animals and plants use camouflage to hide from predators or to approach prey undetected, deceivers employ methods that are hard to detect without careful observation. Camouflage is often applied as half-truths during interactions. Part of the communication is true, but there is a hidden, malicious element. The victim may not realize the deception until the deceiver reveals it, often after achieving their goals. This makes camouflage one of the toughest forms of deception to detect. Simulation. Simulation, the second classification of deception, involves presenting false information to mislead the victim. There are three types of simulation. 1. Fabrication, altering reality by adding or reducing details to a story to convince the subject. For example, a suspect in court might claim they stole food because they were starving, when in reality they intended to sell it for financial gain. 2. Mimicry, imitating something or someone to confuse or deceive. A deceiver might steal an idea and present it as their own. For instance, an author might use the name of a popular writer to fool readers into buying their book. 3. Distraction, diverting the victim's attention from reality to focus on falsehoods. A deceiver might use excuses to distract someone from the truth. This requires constant fabrication of new lies to maintain the deception. Disguise. Disguise involves feigning a different appearance or identity to conceal one's true intentions. It means the deceiver appears as someone or something different, tricking the victim into trusting them. Disguise is more complex than temporary changes. It often involves the deceiver adopting a completely different persona to achieve their goals. Common techniques of deception. Deceivers use a variety of tactics to control their targets' minds. Here are some common techniques. 1. Lies. The deceiver makes up false information and presents it as fact, leading the victim to accept it as the truth. 2. Concealment. Important information is intentionally omitted to prevent the victim from recognizing the whole truth. This can be done through half-truths. 3. Creating illusions. Deceivers create convincing, imaginary scenarios to sway the victim into believing or partnering with them. 4. Equivocations, using ambiguous or contradictory language to hide the truth and confuse the victim. This allows the deceiver to avoid giving definite answers. 5. Understatements, minimizing the significance of a situation, making it appear less important than it is, to influence the victim without revealing the full impact. 6. Seduction, enticing the victim through praise, charm, flattery, or financial support to lower their defenses and lure them into a trap. 7. Rationalization, providing weak or far-fetched arguments to convince the victim to accept something unpleasant or difficult. 8. Playing the servant, pretending to act for a noble cause to gain the victim's trust and lower their defenses. 9. Diversion, misleading the victim by attacking their self-defense mechanisms, often using peer pressure or other manipulative tactics. 10. Playing the victim, evoking sympathy or pity by pretending to be weaker or hurt, gaining the victim's cooperation and trust. 11. Feigning authority, pretending to have authority or expertise to increase trust and likability, leveraging the victim's tendency to trust authoritative figures. Conclusion: deceivers employ various techniques to manipulate their targets, often using multiple tactics simultaneously. Recognizing these methods can help protect against deception. If you suspect someone is deceiving you, it is best to create distance between you and the potential deceiver to avoid falling victim to their manipulation. Remember, these tactics are not exhaustive, and deceivers may use other methods as well. Stay vigilant and informed to safeguard against deception. Chapter 14. Deception Detection. Detecting deception in oral or written statements involves various methods and techniques. Let's explore some ways to identify signs of deception and spot a liar. How to detect an anomaly. Professionals often analyze linguistic text to detect anomalies, focusing on grammar, language, and syntax to understand how an event is described. Detecting nonverbal cues such as eye movement and verbal behavior is crucial. Oral statements are also studied for inconsistencies, signs of deception. Here are some signs of deception to watch out for. 1. The lack of self-reference. Truthful individuals typically use the pronoun I when describing events. Deceptive people may minimize the use of I references or omit important information. 2. Answering a question with a question. Deceptive individuals may avoid directly lying by answering a question with another question to dodge the issue. Tips from the FBI on spotting a liar. The FBI offers valuable insights into spotting deception. 1. Focus on building rapport. Establishing rapport during interviews can lead to more information. Avoid being accusatory to encourage cooperation. 2. Surprising the suspects. Ask unexpected questions to catch deceptive individuals off guard and prevent rehearsed responses. 3. Listening more than you speak. Liars may speak more to sound legitimate. Pay attention to verbal cues like speaking faster, louder, clearing throat, or coughing frequently. 4. Pay attention to how a person says no. Watch for unusual behavior like looking away, hesitancy, or closing eyes when saying no. 5. Watch for changes in behavior. Be wary of sudden changes in behavior, short answers, feigned memory lapses, or exaggerated responses. 6. Ask for the story backward. Truthful individuals typically add details and recall events naturally. Ask them to recall the event backward to detect inconsistencies. 7. Beware of compliments. Insincere compliments may indicate deception, especially if someone is trying to make a good impression. 8. Asking a follow-up question. People may be uneasy due to personal embarrassment or dependency on the conversation outcome. Asking follow-up questions can help uncover inconsistencies. Conclusion. Detecting deception requires careful observation of verbal and nonverbal cues. While these signs can indicate deception, they are not foolproof. It's essential to proceed with caution and gather more information if you suspect someone is being deceptive. Over time, with practice, you can become more adept at spotting deception. Chapter 15. Neuro-Linguistic Programming Secrets. Neuro-Linguistic Programming (NLP) has been utilized to fixate messages in people's minds, often with the aim of influencing behavior. Let's delve into the secrets of NLP and how it can be used for manipulation. A brief history of NLP. NLP originated from research on human cognition and learning conducted by Richard Bandler and John Grinder in the 1970s. It focuses on modifying human behavior through language and sound, aiming to influence behavior without conscious engagement. Core concepts of NLP. 1. Subjectivity recognizes that individuals perceive the world differently based on their experiences. Engaging all senses in learning helps internalize content effectively. 2. Consciousness. Humans have dual layers of consciousness and unconsciousness. Consciousness rationalizes daily actions, while unconsciousness drives instinctive behavior. 3. Learning occurs when individuals internalize their experiences through sensory perception. Experience is crucial for meaningful learning. NLP modeling. NLP attempts to model how the human mind perceives the world. While there's no universal model, practitioners offer models to help individuals replace habits or thoughts. NLP can be effective in coercing others through chants, slogans, and visual imagery. NLP as a means of communication. Verbal communication, words, tone, pitch, speed, and volume are crucial in communication. Skilled manipulators know how to use their voice to implant intentions effectively. Nonverbal communication, gestures, body language, and mannerisms play a significant role. Manipulators pay attention to nonverbal cues to maintain control. Building rapport. NLP is used to build rapport by acting in a friendly, non-threatening manner. Building trust through rapport is a powerful manipulation tool. Manipulation techniques. Indoctrination. Companies use NLP techniques to indoctrinate employees by reinforcing values and norms. Verbal and nonverbal cues. Manipulators use both verbal and nonverbal cues to influence others' perceptions and behaviors. Charm and rapport. Skilled manipulators use charm and rapport to gain trust and control over others. Conclusion. NLP can be a powerful tool for manipulation, influencing behavior, and communication. Understanding its principles can help individuals recognize and defend against manipulation tactics in various settings. Awareness of verbal and nonverbal cues is essential for detecting manipulation and maintaining autonomy. Chapter 16. NLP Techniques. Neuro-Linguistic Programming (NLP) offers various techniques that can be used to influence behavior, change thought patterns, and improve emotional well-being. Let's explore some of these techniques. Anchoring. Anchoring is a technique based on Ivan Pavlov's classical conditioning experiments with dogs. It involves creating a neurobiological connection between a specific stimulus and a desired emotional state. Here's how you can use it. Create an anchor. Associate a specific gesture or sensation with a desired positive emotion by recalling a memory when you felt that emotion strongly. Trigger the anchor. When you're feeling stressed or low, trigger the anchor to change your emotional state. Reinforce the anchor by recalling more positive memories associated with it. Content reframing. This technique helps combat negative thoughts and feelings by reframing the meaning of situations. Here's how it works. Reframe negative situations. Change the meaning of negative situations into something positive. For example, reframe a breakup as an opportunity for personal growth and new beginnings. Focus on empowerment. Shift your focus to the lessons learned and potential for growth rather than dwelling on negativity. Rapport building. Rapport building involves generating empathy in others by mirroring their verbal and nonverbal behaviors. Here's how to build rapport. Pace and mirror. Mimic the other person's body language, gestures, or tone of voice subtly to create a sense of similarity. Use nonverbal cues. Smile when they smile or adopt similar body postures to build a connection. Dissociation. Dissociation helps sever the link between negative emotions and their triggers. Here's how to use it. Identify triggers. Recognize words or phrases that evoke negative emotions and detach those emotions from the triggers. Healing and empowerment. By dissociating negative feelings from triggers, you can effectively treat mental health conditions and deal with difficult situations positively. Future pacing. Future pacing involves leading oneself or others into a future state and rehearsing desired outcomes. Here's how it's done. Visualize future outcomes. Mentally rehearse future situations with desired outcomes to anchor changes or resources. Influence responses. Influence how individuals respond to future situations by guiding their mental imagery. Influence and persuasion. Ethical influence and persuasion are central to NLP. Here's how it can be used effectively. The Milton model: use abstract language patterns to induce a trance-like state and trigger subconscious responses. Ethical influence: ethically persuade and influence others using vague language patterns while respecting their autonomy. NLP techniques can be powerful tools for personal development, communication, and influencing others when used ethically and responsibly. Chapter 17. NLP for Influence. Influence and persuasion are essential skills in various aspects of life, from business to personal relationships. Here are strategies to influence and manipulate effectively using NLP techniques. 1. Don't ask, do. Instead of expecting others to understand your point of view, take action, provide solutions. Instead of asking for approval, offer solutions and examples that make it easy for others to see the benefits. Lead by example. Instead of waiting for collaboration, take the initiative and demonstrate what needs to be done. Point 2. Launch an avalanche. Secure a significant yes from influential individuals to create a domino effect. Start at the top. Secure support from key influencers or leaders, making it easier to gain support from others. Create momentum. Once you have the initial support, others are more likely to follow suit. Point 3. Ask for an inch, take a mile. Start small and gradually escalate your requests. Start small, begin with a modest request to reduce resistance. Progressive engagement, gradually ask for more as trust and rapport are established. Point 4. Set clear deadlines. Create urgency to prompt action. Establish time limits. Set deadlines to encourage prompt decision-making. Create real urgency. Avoid artificial deadlines and instead create genuine urgency. Point 5. Give 10 times as much. Offer value before asking for anything in return. Over-deliver. Provide value far beyond what is expected. Build trust. Demonstrate your commitment and generosity to build trust and reciprocity. Point 6. March for something bigger. Align your goals with a larger purpose. Focus on impact. Highlight the broader impact of your goals. Create meaning. Connect your objectives with something meaningful to inspire action. How NLP can bring you to influence the masses. Neuro-Linguistic Programming offers strategies to enhance perception, communication, and behavior. Here's how you can apply NLP principles to become more influential. 1. Create a compelling vision. Clearly articulate your vision to inspire others. Point 2. Build relationships. Establish genuine connections to foster trust and collaboration. Point 3. Gain insight into others' thinking. Pay attention to verbal and nonverbal cues to understand others' perspectives. Point 4. Model success. Learn from successful individuals and replicate their strategies. Point 5. Access internal resources. Help others tap into their internal resources to overcome challenges. Point 6. Respect personal values. Understand and respect the values of others to create an environment where they can thrive. By applying these NLP principles, you can enhance your influence and effectiveness as a leader, communicator, and collaborator. Chapter 18. NLP Anchors. Anchoring is a powerful neuro-linguistic programming (NLP) technique that allows you to control and maintain your emotional states effectively. Let's explore what anchoring is, how it originated, the types of anchors, the anchoring process, and its applications. What is anchoring? Anchoring is the process of associating an external stimulus with an internal state, allowing the internal state to be triggered by experiencing the external stimulus. Here's a breakdown. Association. It's about linking an external stimulus with an internal state through repeated pairings. Positive states. NLP focuses on anchoring positive emotions to promote well-being and positive change. Origin of anchoring. Anchoring finds its roots in Ivan Pavlov's experiments with dogs, demonstrating classical conditioning. Pavlov observed how dogs associated neutral stimuli with food, leading to conditioned responses. Types of anchors. In NLP, anchors can be based on any of the 5 senses: auditory, verbal phrases or sounds, visual, images or visual cues, kinesthetic, physical touch or sensations, gustatory, taste-related stimuli, olfactory, smells or scents. The process of anchoring. Here's how you can anchor a positive emotional state. 1. Identify the desired state. Decide what emotion you want to anchor, like peace and calm. 2. Recall a vivid experience. Remember a time when you felt that emotion intensely and relive it fully. 3. Anchoring. Choose a specific gesture or action as your anchor and apply it at the peak of your emotional state. 4. Change state. Distract yourself briefly to break the intensity of the emotion. 5. Test the anchor. Try the anchor again to see if it triggers the desired state. The 5 keys to successful anchoring. I turn. Intensity of experience. I choose a highly intense emotional experience. Timing of the anchor. T. Apply the anchor at the peak of the emotional state. Uniqueness of the stimulus. You use a unique and easily accessible anchor. Replication of the stimulus. R. Reapply the anchor multiple times to strengthen it. Number of times. N. Test the anchor repeatedly to ensure effectiveness. Applications of NLP anchoring. Anchoring can be applied in various ways. State management. Control your emotions in situations like exams or presentations. Stacking anchors. Create a stack of anchors for different positive emotions. Chaining anchors. Fire anchors sequentially to transition between states. Collapsing anchors. Replace negative states with positive ones by anchoring and releasing. Anchoring empowers you to manage your emotions effectively and access resourceful states whenever needed. By mastering anchoring techniques, you can enhance your emotional control and well-being significantly. Chapter 19. Using NLP in real life. NLP anchor techniques are valuable in real-life situations, but they often require flexibility and awareness of subtle cues. Here's how you can effectively use NLP anchors in everyday interactions. Understanding real-life anchoring. Moment-to-moment usage. In real life, you won't always follow a structured NLP session. You need to be attentive and flexible, setting anchors on the fly based on the situation. Attention to intensity. Ensure the person reaches an intense state before setting an anchor. Otherwise, the anchor may not be effective. Pre-existing associations. Be aware that the chosen stimulus may have pre-existing associations. For example, music can evoke personal memories that may not match the intended response. Practical applications. 1. Coaching sessions. Anchor meaningful goals with specific words or phrases when clients become animated while discussing them. Later, fire the anchor to reignite motivation if they lose it. 2. Presentations. Use spatial anchoring by standing in different spots to associate each spot with a specific state. Move to a different spot when delivering bad news to avoid anchoring negativity to one area. 3. Sales meetings. Dissociate from mistakes by stepping out of the spot where the error occurred and making it clear that it's not typical behavior. 4. Following a speaker. If following a speaker who didn't engage the audience well, stand in a different spot and use a different tone to avoid association with the previous speaker's performance. Additional tips. Matching predicates. Notice the sensory words people use, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and set anchors accordingly. If you match their primary representation system, they may notice it consciously. Experimentation. Try setting anchors both within and outside of people's awareness and observe which yields better results during testing. By applying NLP anchors effectively in real-life situations, you can influence outcomes positively and improve communication dynamics. Flexibility and awareness are key to mastering this skill. Chapter 20. NLP in business. NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, is highly beneficial in the business world, enhancing various skills and improving communication. Let's explore how NLP is applied in business. 1. Enhancing skills. NLP enhances negotiation and selling skills, making managers better coaches, motivators, and influencers. It multiplies excellence by using modeling techniques, where successful behaviors are replicated and incorporated into business practices. 2. Improving communication. NLP improves communication by understanding verbal and nonverbal cues from customers and prospects. It helps emulate successful strategies used by other businesses by understanding how successful people work and converse. Point 3. Sales and customer service. NLP provides sales staff with the ability to understand nonverbal cues and effectively answer customer questions. It improves negotiation skills, making everyone in the business more persuasive and effective. NLP boosts morale by improving communication and understanding among team members. Point 4. Customer service excellence. NLP is a powerful tool for customer service, helping to understand customers' complaints, suggestions, and nonverbal cues. Understanding customers' needs and emotions helps in resolving issues effectively and creating positive experiences. Point 5. Entrepreneurial pursuits. NLP is effective in boosting entrepreneurial pursuits by building skills in teamwork, coaching, sales, productivity, personal development, and leadership. It helps in setting and achieving meaningful and achievable business goals by changing thinking patterns and motivating action. Point 6. Goal setting and achievement. NLP assists in setting realistic and achievable business goals by changing thinking patterns and motivating action. It helps in overcoming challenges and stress in business by providing techniques to manage emotions and mindset effectively. Point 7. Personal development. NLP techniques help in personal development by studying successful people's strategies and overcoming fears and anxieties. It improves confidence, public speaking skills, and fosters healthy relationships in both personal and professional life. In summary, NLP is a valuable tool in business for improving communication, enhancing skills, boosting morale, providing excellent customer service, setting and achieving goals, and fostering personal development and success. Businesses that integrate NLP principles often experience improved efficiency, productivity, and overall success. Chapter 21. Dealing with manipulation in a relationship. Dealing with manipulation in a relationship can be challenging, especially when it's not easy to get out of the relationship. Here are some strategies for handling manipulation. Focus on yourself. Victims of manipulation often focus on the manipulator rather than themselves, which only empowers the manipulator. Focus on your well-being and happiness rather than trying to change the manipulator. Avoid sharing your emotions and feelings with the manipulator, as they may use them against you. Assess the value. Evaluate whether the relationship is worth the effort. Sometimes, leaving the relationship may be the best option if it's causing significant harm. In cases where leaving is not possible, such as parent-child relationships, assess how the manipulation is affecting you and seek ways to alleviate it. Use assertiveness. Take back control by asserting yourself in the relationship. Instead of complying with the manipulator, remove yourself from situations that upset you. Refuse to engage in manipulative tactics by calmly stating your need for space or time to think. Confront the manipulator. Confront your fears and anxieties that arise in manipulative situations. Understand why you feel guilty or submissive. Communicate assertively with the manipulator about their behavior and how it affects you. Set boundaries firmly but respectfully. Seek help if needed. Seeking support from a therapist or psychologist can be beneficial in dealing with manipulation in a relationship. Manipulators may not realize the impact of their behavior, and therapy can provide a safe environment for addressing issues. Understanding manipulation. Manipulation can take various forms, including teasing, sarcasm, or controlling behavior. It's essential to recognize signs of manipulation, such as feeling controlled or pressured to comply with your partner's wishes. Signs of manipulation. Pay attention to your feelings and instincts. If you feel uncomfortable or pressured, it might be a sign of manipulation. Analyze your partner's behavior logically and honestly. Consider what you would advise a friend in a similar situation. Dealing with manipulation requires self-awareness, assertiveness, and sometimes seeking outside help. Remember that your well-being and happiness are essential, and setting boundaries is crucial in maintaining a healthy relationship. What to do if you are being manipulated? If you find yourself being manipulated in a relationship, here are steps you can take to address the situation. 1. Have a plan. Before approaching your partner, plan how you want to handle the situation. Consider using some of the approaches mentioned earlier to deal with manipulation effectively. Point 2. Approach calmly. Avoid accusing your partner, as it can escalate the situation. Focus on expressing your feelings rather than criticizing their behavior. Use I statements to express how you feel and provide examples of what has been happening. Point 3. Stay engaged. Be prepared to carry out the conversation and listen to your partner's response. How your partner responds will determine if the problem can be resolved. Acceptance of responsibility is crucial for solving the issue. Point 4. Evaluate their response. If your partner acknowledges their behavior and shows willingness to work on it, there's potential for improvement. However, if your partner belittles your feelings or dismisses them, reconsider the relationship's future. Point 5. Stay aware. Regardless of the decision you make, remain aware of how others treat you. Be cautious not to fall back into old patterns of manipulation, whether you choose to stay and work on the relationship or not. Point 6. Maintain open communication. If you decide to work things out, regularly share your feelings with your partner. Effective communication can help prevent the recurrence of manipulation and foster a healthier relationship dynamic. Addressing manipulation in a relationship requires assertiveness, self-awareness, and effective communication. Remember to prioritize your well-being and make decisions that are best for you. Chapter 22. Sales and Manipulation. In the realm of selling, they say, you can sell anything with the right mindset. A truth wrapped in shadows, where persuasion dances close to manipulation and lines blur like whispers in the wind. Think of the used car salesman, weaving tales to turn rust into gold, reputation tarnished yet skill undeniable. Criticism rains upon them, for the art of manipulation hides beneath the cloak of persuasion. In the vast landscape of business, where fortunes sway and destinies entwine, the dance between persuasion and manipulation unfolds, shaping decisions with invisible hands. Before introducing a product, businesses court the needs of customers, crafting offerings designed to stir emotions deep within the human heart. Tactics emerge, subtle yet potent, like a whisper that ignites a flame. Imagine a salesperson, weaving a tale of statistics and discounts, painting a picture where safety meets urgency. Facts become hooks, emotions the canvas, and urgency the brushstroke that seals the deal. But beware, for manipulation lurks in the shadows of exclusivity and fear, weaving illusions of specialness where none truly exist. The dance of persuasion becomes a game of shadows, where truth and illusion blend in the flicker of desire. At the heart of sales lies psychology, where emotions sway like leaves in the wind. Advertisements whisper promises of happiness, playing on fears and desires buried deep within the soul. Yet, in this dance of manipulation, there is a beacon of truth. Be bold, be confident, and hold fast to logic in the face of emotional tides. Stand tall against the waves of persuasion, anchored in the truth of your own knowledge. Advertising, with its subtle whispers and suggestive shapes, seeks to ensnare the heart before the mind can awaken. But armed with awareness, you can see through the veil of illusion, guided by the light of reason. In the realm of real estate, where dreams are bought and sold, realtors spin tales to capture the imagination. But amidst the charm and allure, remember to tread with caution, guided not by emotion, but by clear-eyed logic. So, when the winds of manipulation blow, and the siren song of persuasion beckons, remember to stand firm, anchored in your truth. For in the dance of sales and manipulation, it is clarity of mind that lights the path forward. Unveiling the illusions of sales tactics. Beware the whispers of the realtor, weaving tales of aesthetic allure, for they seek to ensnare your heart, while reason remains obscure. Counter their emotional claims with steadfast resolve, hold your boundaries firm and clear, your truth to absolve. In the aisles of the supermarket, where tricks abound, they paint a picture of sale, yet truth is seldom found. Labeling products as discounted, a deceitful charade, playing on the fear of missing out, a game of masquerade. But now, armed with knowledge, you see through the guise, no longer swayed by illusions or fabricated lies. You stand tall, unyielding, against manipulation's art, for you know the tricks of the trade that seek to ensnare the heart. As a business owner, you wield these tactics with care, harnessing the power of persuasion, with intentions fair. Not from malice, but from a desire to succeed, using positive reinforcement to fulfill every need. So, go forth with wisdom, armored and prepared, navigate the sales floor with confidence bared. May these insights guide you to success's gleam, in the dance of persuasion, may your dreams redeem. Chapter 23. Whispers of Influence. The Art of Subliminal Messages. In the depths of perception's veil, where whispers softly sway, lies the art of subliminal messages, in a clandestine display. A subtle dance of auditory and visual cues, unseen by conscious eyes, yet they hold the power to shape thoughts and make hearts rise. Merkel and Cheeseman unveiled the secrets, in psychodynamic activation's light, where unconscious desires bloom, hidden from plain sight. In the realm of subliminal persuasion, where truths and illusions blend, lies the key to unlocking desires, a journey without end. Drink Coke and eat popcorn, a phrase from days of old, wove its magic in the minds, its power strong and bold. A silent call to action, whispered in the theater's glow, guiding choices, shaping minds, with a subtle, unseen flow. But do these messages deliver truth or lead astray? Greenwald and Spangenberg nod, as sails surge in their sway. Crafted with care, not too obvious to see, they touch the soul, evoke emotions, setting desires free. From scripture's The New Psychology to Dunlap's Pointed Arrow's Tale, subliminal whispers have woven their spell, without fail. In the flash of a moment, in the blink of an eye, they shape perceptions, guiding actions as time flies by. Jane's Vickers Cinema whispers, a testament to their might, drink Coca-Cola, they said, and sales soared to new height. In audiotape's gentle murmur, a warning against theft's deceit, stores found salvation, as losses waned, in whispers sweet. Yet, in the realm of music sway, subliminal messages hold sway, guiding hearts, stirring souls, in a subtle, unseen way. Responsibility lies in the hands of those who wield this art, for its power shapes minds and can tear worlds apart. In the tapestry of persuasion, subliminal messages weave, guiding actions, shaping thoughts, with intentions to deceive. Yet, in their mystery lies a power, both subtle and grand, a tool for those who seek to lead, with a gentle hand. As the journey continues, and the whispers softly glide, subliminal messages remain, shaping destinies far and wide. In the silent realms of influence, where truths and illusions blend, lies the power to shape the world, from beginning to end. Whispers unseen. The power of subliminal messages. In the realm where whispers hide and shadows softly play, dwell the secrets of subliminal messages, guiding hearts along the way. Two kinds they are, both silent yet profound, visual and auditory, in persuasion they're crowned. Visual whispers dance in the mind's eye, painting pictures subtle and sweet, stirring cognition, sparking interest with every discreet feat. They aim to touch the soul, to play with self-esteem's delicate thread, crafted with care, they lead where desires are silently led. Drink Coke and eat popcorn, a phrase that echoes through time, in theaters and beyond, where marketing's whispers chime. They shape perceptions, nudge decisions in the silent sway, a gentle push, a subtle call, leading minds astray. But beware, for visual whispers must tread with utmost care, avoiding provocation, ensuring messages fair. They've become a marketing gem, in every aspect they're found, guiding choices, shaping lives, with a whisper's gentle sound. Auditory whispers, a melody in the air, embedded in music, they weave thoughts without a care. A complement to visuals, they speak to every ear, in background murmurs, they make desires clear. Once overlooked, now a force in its own right, auditory subliminal messages shine in marketing's light. From supermarkets to entertainment's grand stage, they whisper softly, shaping thoughts in every age. As the whispers spread, reaching far and wide, prepare for challenges, with wisdom as your guide. Counter negativity with solutions strong and sure. In the realm of persuasion, let expertise endure. Consult the masters, learn from those who've soared. In subliminal messaging, find wisdom to afford. For in the whispers unseen, lies the power to persuade, a silent force, a subtle art, in every message laid. Chapter 24. Unraveling the Secrets, NLP in Life, Love, and Work. In the tapestry of human interaction, subtle threads weave connections deep and unseen. Understanding these threads allows us to navigate the intricate dance of influence and perception. Let us delve into the realm of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, NLP, and explore how it shapes our interactions in real life, relationships, and work, deciphering the unspoken, the language of eyes. In the silent language of the eyes, a world unfolds, each glance, a story waiting to be told. For when words falter, and silence reigns supreme, the eyes reveal truths, like a flowing stream. Visual responsiveness, the dance of perception. Upward and right, a mental picture is drawn, leftward, a memory, silently reborn. Straight ahead, a gaze lost in space, each movement, a glimpse of inner grace. In the subtle shift of gaze, secrets lie, a window to the soul, where truths reside. With every flicker, a tale untold, in the dance of eyes, mysteries unfold, auditory responsiveness, echoes in the mind. To the right, a sound takes shape and form, to the left, a memory, gentle and warm. Inward and left, a dialogue quietly spun, downward, left, then right, negative self-talk begun. In the realm of sound, echoes play, a symphony of thoughts, night and day. With every whisper, a world is heard, in the silent corridors, where dreams are stirred, kinesthetic responsiveness, feeling within. Downward they gaze, to the right they turn, emotion stirring, a fire begins to burn. In the depths of the soul, unease may reside, in the language of touch, truths are implied. With every sensation, a story unfolds, in the language of touch, connections hold. The warmth of a hand, the brush of a skin, in these tender moments, love begins. A verbal responses, the rhythm of speech. Speak not in haste, nor in a hurried race, but in the rhythm of heartbeats, a steady pace. Repeating key words, embedding them deep in the listener's mind, their influence will seep. In the cadence of speech, melodies play, words like music, guide the way. With every intonation, a message conveyed, in the dance of words, connections are made, touching lightly, a connection sublime. A gentle touch, as words softly flow, drawing attention, in a familiar glow. But tread with care, in this delicate art, misunderstandings lurk, keep a vigilant heart. In the brush of a hand, emotions ignite, in the warmth of a touch, hearts take flight. With every contact, a bond is formed, in the language of touch, connections adorned at the power of words, hot and vague. Feel free, hear this, phrases that ignite, emotions and thoughts, in the listener's sight. With hot words, sensations come alive, influence we wield, as connections thrive. In the power of words, worlds collide, meanings entwined, hearts open wide. With every utterance, a universe is spun, in the symphony of language, connections are WON. In the dance of life, where words and gestures meet, NLP guides us, to connection sweet. In understanding and empathy, our strength does lie, in the language of the heart, let our spirits fly. Mastering the interspersed technique, navigating life with NLP. In the intricate dance of communication, sometimes what is said is not always what is meant. The interspersed technique embodies this art, allowing us to convey hidden messages beneath the surface of our words. Let's explore how to wield this technique and harness the power of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, NLP, to influence and shape our interactions, unveiling hidden meanings, the interspersed technique. In the tapestry of speech, hidden meanings lie, beneath the words, truth silently vie. With the interspersed technique, we craft our tale, stating one thing, while another we unveil. John is generous, we may openly declare, but beneath the surface, a message we share. For but and gullible hold the key, to shape perception, subtly and free. Influence is the aim, not coercion's hand, to modify behaviors, to help us understand. In workplaces and relationships, its power we find, guiding us gently, in the depths of the mind. Embracing NLP, the path to transformation. To embark on this journey, traits you must hold, to unlock the secrets, both new and old. Let ambition guide you, with dreams so vast, to rewrite your story, from the first to the last. Courage must accompany you on this quest, to challenge the familiar, to give your best. In the face of fear, you stand tall and strong, for change awaits, where you truly belong. Openness is key, to embrace the unknown, to let go of doubts, to let new seeds be sown. Though skepticism may linger, give it a try, for transformation awaits. If you're willing to fly, curiosity ignites the flame of change, to question, to wonder, to rearrange. Explore the depths of your mind's terrain, and find new vistas, where possibilities reign. Discipline, oh discipline, keeps you on track, through valleys of doubt and mountains you lack. With determination as your guiding star, you'll journey far, no matter how far. Conclusion, in the realm of NLP, the interspersed technique shines, revealing hidden truths in subtle lines. With ambition, courage, openness, and more, you'll unlock the door to a life you adore. So, dare to wield the power that lies within, and let the journey of transformation begin. For in the depths of your soul, you'll find the magic of NLP, guiding your mind. Chapter 25. Predators. In the shadows of human nature, there lurks a darker side, where manipulation becomes a tool and empathy fades away. This chapter delves into the realm of predators who prey on others for their own gain, weaving webs of deception and manipulation. The darkness within, users of dark psychology. In the depths of the human psyche lies the capacity for harm. Dark psychology, a realm where predators charm. Manipulating others for selfish gain, leaving victims broken, writhing in pain. Lawyers. In the courtroom drama, where truth's lines blur, lawyers wield words like a sinister lure. Crafting narratives to sway the jury's view, painting murderers as saints, their deception askew. Leaders. Leaders walk a fine line, between light and shade, some lead with honor, while others manipulate with tirade. Using power and coercion to control their domain, their rule built on fear, destined not to sustain politicians. In the political arena, where lies are spun, politicians dance, their web tightly spun. Confident facades hide a world of deceit, seeking votes at any cost, their ambition discreet. Public speakers. On the stage of persuasion, where words hold might, public speakers manipulate with skillful sleight. Appealing to emotions, twisting truth with guile, their rhetoric a weapon, crafted to beguile narcissists. With egos inflated, narcissists roam, manipulating hearts, from their self-made throne. Craving attention, they weave a toxic spell, leaving shattered souls in their self-serving swell. Sociopaths. In the realm of sociopaths, empathy's void, their charm a facade, their motives alloyed. Manipulating freely, without remorse or guilt, leaving scars unseen, their intentions built. Salespeople. In the world of sales, where deals are made, salespeople manipulate, their tactics laid. Playing on fears, painting illusions bright, to ensnare the unsuspecting in their deceptive light. Traits of users of dark psychology. In the shadows, manipulative souls dwell, crafting illusions, their tales they tell. Here lie the signs, heed and beware of those who manipulate, spreading despair. A dark triad. Within the dark triad's chilling embrace, lurk traits of harm, leaving scars in space. Narcissism, with egos towering high. Machiavellianism, where morals sigh. Psychopathy, devoid of empathy's grace, leaving behind chaos in their heartless chase. Passive-aggressive. Covertly spinning webs of deceit, passive-aggressive, their tactics discreet. Microaggressions veiled in innocence's guise, leaving wounds unseen beneath silent cries. Forgotten events, conveniently misplaced, leaving hearts wounded, emotions effaced. Stubbornness. In their stubbornness, they firmly stand, denying fault, their pride in command. Doubling down on their deceitful play, shifting blame, refusing the light of day. Unyielding in conflicts, igniting spite, leaving chaos and pain in their relentless flight. Infallibility. Claiming infallibility, refusing to see, denying their wrongs, where truth should be. Blaming others, creating scapegoats in strife, their facade of perfection, masking a life. In denial they dwell, blind to the plea, unaware of the damage caused, in their twisted spree controlling. Seeking control, their ultimate quest, to dominate and manipulate, at their behest. Dictating terms in every interaction, leaving others off balance, in dissatisfaction. Refusing compromise, in their power's crest, leaving others feeling helpless, oppressed. Conclusion, beware the signs, heed the call of those who build invisible walls. In their web of deception and control, they ensnare the unwary soul. Chapter 26, Tips to Protect Yourself Against Emotional Predators. Let's unravel the traits of emotional predators, their deceptive ways, like hidden sabers. They omit truths, ignore rules without remorse, deny facts, then bully when faced with discourse. Blaming others, playing the victim's role, manipulating emotions, taking their toll. There's no one solution to deal with their art, no single tactic to shield your heart. Learning to protect yourself is a winding road, where trial and error is how wisdom is stowed. So, release the burden of seeking perfection. Each stumble is a step toward introspection. Some ways to shield may seem clear, but hard to apply, while others remain elusive, floating in the sky. Jot down notes, in margins, or on blank pages near. Create your own guide to hold what's dear. Protecting yourself is a journey, you see, a path to reclaim your autonomy. In the battle against emotional predators' might, your strength lies in learning, shining your light. Identify emotional predators. The first step to shield your soul's domain is to recognize emotional predators, hidden in plain. As you delve into their traits and schemes, you may glimpse echoes in your own dreams. Fear not, for we all may sometimes stray, in moments of stress, lose our way. Teenagers, in their developmental phase, may temporarily adopt such ways. But emotional predators, they differ stark, their behavior leaves a lasting mark. It takes time and keen observation to discern their true motivation. Their tactics aren't just for defense, but to prey on others, with no pretense. Using their tactics for self-defense doesn't make you share their offense. Choosing to play their game, with care, is a shield against their dark, unfair. Emotional predators lack insight's grace, blinded by their own deceptive embrace. They lack introspection, they cannot see the harm they cause, the pain they decree. So if you see their traits in you, know it's a sign of insight true. You're more introspective, you truly see the impact of actions, the ripples decree. Be flexible about how you define yourself. In the dance with emotional predators, be wise, they seek out emotions to control and disguise. But within you lies the power to regain control, to shape your responses and protect your soul. Your emotions may sway like leaves in the breeze, but your strategic responses hold the keys. You control the helm amidst the stormy sea, guiding yourself to where you wish to be. While changing the predator may be your aim, remember, changing yourself holds greater gain. Know yourself deeply, that's where strength lies, yet true power comes when you're willing to revise. You alone hold the power to change your course, to strengthen your defenses, to find your force. You can't change the predator's dark design, but you can change yourself. your light to shine. By shaping your responses, you hold the sway, influencing the predator's moves in the fray. So be flexible in how you define your role, for in your evolution lies your soul's stronghold. Avoid and disengage when possible. Listen closely to the wizard's wise decree: from emotional predators, it's best to flee. When you spot their shadow in your domain, avoidance is your shield, disengagement your gain. Steer clear when you can, from a safe distance afar, observe without entangling in their dark repertoire. No need to confront or reveal your insight, just gracefully step back, keep your distance tight. If asked why you're slipping away, a simple excuse will do, no need to betray. It's not you, it's me, an old line you can borrow, keep it vague, no need to explain your sorrow. Be too busy, let circumstances play the role, decline engagement, let distance be your goal. When disengaging, keep your words brief and clear, no need to justify, let silence draw the line near, invisible you become, a ghost in their sight, shielding your emotions, hidden from their light. For emotions are their fuel, their tool to deceive, so show none at all, and their grip you'll relieve. If already entwined in their web of deceit, disengage if you can, find a way to retreat. But if trapped in their grasp, family or work bound, stay cautious, stay strong, until freedom is found. Be strategic when you do engage. Sometimes avoidance isn't an option, it's true, especially if the predator's part of your crew. If you must stay engaged, be wise and smart, use tactics to protect your soul and heart. In family or work, where you can't break free, strategic engagement is the key you see. Your goal, to restore balance, regain control, against the predator's grip, take a stand, be bold. Playing her game better doesn't make you the same, set your own rules, don't play by her aim. In the battlefield of emotions, be strategic, be wise, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, let that be your guise. Every tactic you employ, every move you make, aims to restore balance, for your own sake. Though the tactics may seem similar in sight, yours come from defense, from the will to fight. So be strategic, be cunning, in your every maneuver, protect yourself and loved ones, let your strength shine through her control information. In the game of protection, information is key, to unravel the truth, to set yourself free. The predator's lies and distortions, you must see, mine all sources of truth, from every decree. She'll pry into your heart, your values, your fears, to exploit your emotions, to fuel her cruel gears. So, guard your truths, let out what's strategic and smart, keep your vulnerabilities hidden, protect your heart. Like a card player, deceive her with your hand, mislead her, confuse her, make her misunderstand. Strategically withhold, release inaccurate cues, keep her guessing, unsure of the real you. But beware, playing with emotions can be a risky game, for the theatrically inclined, it's not always the same. Better to stay invisible, emotionally secure, protecting yourself, your motives obscure. Types, sources, and direction of information flow. In the dance with the predator, information holds power, 3 types, 2 directions, in this complex hour. About you, about her, about the situation's twist, managing this flow, your shield in the mist. From yourself, from her, from third parties around, information gathered, truths to be found. But be cautious with whom you share your tale, for some may betray, while others may prevail. You release to yourself, to her, or to others' ear, each word, each detail, holds your safety dear. Be wary of bearing your soul too wide, for the predator thrives where emotions reside. Chapter 27. Emotional Intelligence. Emotional intelligence, a beacon in life's vast sea, guiding us through, helping us to be free. In every realm, it holds a significant role, a key to understanding, making us whole. What is emotional intelligence? Picture someone who listens with care, whose words soothe, showing they're aware. They leave you hopeful, feeling understood. This is emotional intelligence, so good.to know oneself and sense others' needs is a trait admired in words and deeds. We aspire to be like those who excel in emotional intelligence. They cast a spell. The importance of emotional intelligence beyond professional success, its self-care too, understanding emotions, essential to pursue. To identify, manage, and comprehend emotions within and those of a friend, smoothly they navigate life's ebb and flow, understanding emotions, they wisely know. In the journey of life, they gently guide, with emotional intelligence, as their pride. Self-awareness. In the mirror of self-awareness, we gaze, understanding ourselves in life's maze. Emotional cues, power dynamics we see, confidence in our intuition, setting us free. Do you truly see yourself? Take an honest look, do you dare? Know your strengths, your burdens bear. Emotional intelligence starts within, acknowledging flaws, where to begin. Self-management. Self-regulation, keeping emotions in line, controlling impulses, a sign so fine. In the face of change, we stand tall, thoughtful actions, answering the call to motivation. In the heart's fire, motivation gleams, driving us forward, chasing our dreams. A personal drive, strong and true, commitment to goals, carried through the power within. Self-motivation, a guiding light, through darkest times, shining bright. Resilience and optimism, hand in hand, fueling our journey across the land. A shield against manipulation. With motivation as our loyal guide, dark psychology's tricks we can override. Setting demands, being assertive and bold, for long-term success, our path unfolds. Embracing challenges. Loving challenge, embracing strife, in every endeavor we find life. Productive, useful, in all we pursue, with motivation, there's nothing we can't do. Empathy, the heart's compass. In the journey of understanding, empathy shines, a beacon in the darkness of troubled minds. It's more than just awareness, it's a soulful connection, feeling others' emotions, with heartfelt affection, understanding and compassion. Empathy, a mirror reflecting others' plight, seeing through their eyes, in the dimmest light. It's about embracing diversity, extending a hand, to stand beside them, to truly understand. Strength in sensitivity. In sensitivity lies empathy's power, to sense the unspoken, like a delicate flower. It's feeling the hidden, the joys and the pain, building bridges of trust, amidst the emotional rain and navigating relationships. With empathy as your guide, you navigate the sea, mastering connections, with grace and empathy. A skilled communicator, in every discourse, resolving conflicts with understanding, of course, social skills, bridges of connection. In the tapestry of life, social skills weave, connecting hearts, helping others believe. It's more than just talking, it's a dance of rapport, building trust, opening every door, influence and charisma. With social skills, you lead with ease, guiding others, like a gentle breeze. Charismatic and trustworthy, you stand tall, influencing others, inspiring them all, listening and understanding. A good listener, with empathy in your eyes, understanding others, beneath their disguise. It's about being approachable, easy to confide, creating bonds that nothing can divide, strength in connection. Social skills, a beacon of light, in the darkest moments, shining bright. With each connection, you grow and learn, navigating relationships, at every turn. Emotional intelligence, your guiding light. Emotional intelligence, vital for mental health, in the storm of emotions, finding wealth. Navigating life's twists with grace and ease, understanding oneself and others, to appease. Social intelligence, navigating friendships. In the realm of social interaction, wisdom prevails, distinguishing foe from friend, as the tale entails. With emotional and social intelligence as your guide, you journey through life, with joy as your stride, empowering yourself against manipulators. Emotional intelligence, a double-edged sword, used by some for gain, for others, a guard. In the face of manipulators, cunning and sly, emotional intelligence helps you defy. Seeing through their facade. Manipulators, masters of deceit, use empathy to make their lies complete. But with emotional intelligence as your guide, their tricks and falsehoods you can't hide. Recognizing manipulation. Fear they sow, with outrageous lies, but truth prevails when you're wise. With emotional intelligence, you discern what's real and what they wish to burn. Self-knowledge as armor. Know yourself, strong and true, no manipulator can alter your view. With self-compassion as your guide, their attempts to control will slide, blocking their influence. Emotionally intelligent, you stand tall, their words and schemes you won't enthrall. No impulsive decisions, no emotions astray, you keep your calm, come what may. Refusing to engage in insanity. In the chaos they create, you find clarity, emotionally intelligent, you maintain parity. Their games you won't play, their traps you see, for in your strength lies your victory. Taking responsibility. With emotional intelligence, you're in control, no manipulator can take their toll. You have self-respect, awareness profound, their influence on you won't be found. In the battle against manipulation, you stand strong. With emotional intelligence as your shield, manipulators' power you shall wield. Empowered, resilient, you navigate through, for in your heart, you know what's true. Chapter 28. Creating Value and Awareness to Business Strategy. In the world of commerce, perception is key, creating value where scarcity we see. Limited time, quantity, or stock makes desire rise, like a ticking clock. Understanding supply and demand. The law of supply and demand, well known and true, drives customers to what they feel they must pursue. When something's scarce, its value climbs, and in the market, it's a game of times. Creating perceived value. Stores play this game with cunning delight, building demand, keeping products out of sight. They offer freebies, discounts, and more to lure customers to their store. Inducing scarcity. For you, dear businessman, here's the trick: make your product scarce, make customers quick. Tell them it's limited, only a few in store, and watch them rush, wanting more and more. The power of scarcity. I'd hate to see you miss this chance, you say, as urgency builds, they'll want to pay. Limited stock, a deadline near, makes your offer all the more dear, creating urgency. I'll reserve one for you, you kindly insist, but they must act fast, or it'll be missed. Imply the effort, the paperwork to do, and watch them commit, all thanks to you. Using scarcity to your advantage. With emotion and scarcity, you pave your way, creating value, making sales each day. Customers flock to what they fear to lose, and in your business, success you'll choose. Conclusion. Understanding and confronting dark psychology. Throughout history, we've seen examples galore of manipulation, persuasion, and much more. From Manson to Hitler, Bundy, and beyond, dark psychology's tactics, they cleverly donned. Charles Manson, the cult leader. Charles Manson, with words so sly, created a cult with manipulations high. His family committed acts of dread, all under his influence. They were led in Adolf Hitler, the manipulative leader. Hitler, with charisma, led astray, convincing many to follow his way. With persuasion and manipulation's art, he tore nations and lives apart. Ted Bundy, the charismatic killer. Bundy, charming, handsome, and smart, lured victims in with a deceptive heart. His charisma hid his deadly aim, and many fell victim to his deadly game. The Stanford Prison Experiment. Zimbardo's study, a window to see how manipulation can bend reality. In a mock prison, roles quickly turned, showing how easily minds are churned. Understanding dark psychology. Dark psychology, it's nothing to fear, but knowing its tactics, you'll see more clear. Armed with awareness, you'll stand tall, less likely to succumb to its call, facing manipulators. Know the signs, and trust your gut. Against manipulators, you'll keep your strut. But be wary still, for they may devise new tactics to ensnare and disguise ending abuse. Remember, using these tactics to abuse is a form of harm, a terrible ruse. If you're in a situation that feels wrong, find a way out and stay strong moving forward. Leaving might seem hard, leaving your zone, but for your well-being, you must hold your own. Don't go back thinking it wasn't that bad, stand firm, for your happiness, don't be sad.in. Conclusion. Dark psychology, a lesson learned, with awareness, its power overturned. Stay vigilant, stay true to you, and in the face of manipulation, you'll break through. Realize that change won't happen overnight. It takes time, courage, and a lot of might. If they truly want to change their way, counseling and effort must fill their day. A fear may grip you, but don't lose sight, you're capable of breaking free from the night. Starting anew may seem daunting and tough, but support is there, even when times are rough. Even if you feel isolated and alone, there are shelters, groups, where help is shown. Rebuilding confidence, it's a slow climb, but remember, you're worth it. Every time, master manipulators may try to take your light, but you're stronger than their might. Prove them wrong, show your strength within, you can fight this battle, you're destined to win. Use the knowledge gained, be aware and wise, identify manipulation, see through the lies. Don't let dark psychology hold you down, you have the power to turn things around. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing the video with friends and family. Leave a comment and tell us what you think of the content we provide.